All right. Hi, guys. And Sam. How's it going?
Hi guys and Stuart.
Hey. Yeah.
Stuart,
Season 2 finale.
we've reached the end. Not our end, because of course we do our drunk yards retrospective, which are always just so much ridiculous fun. And there'll be a lot to discuss this season. Being episodic, Stuart, that we should remember what happens, because they're all different.
Some drastically so.
Some whiplash-ingly so. There's no like Picard season 3. It's like, is this episode or that episode? It's season 2. Sorry, it's like distinct. That's nice. So join in for that. That'll be a drunk extravaganza soonish, as well as obviously post content on this show and a bit more on Prodigy season 2, which is exciting to me as well. How you doing, Stuart? How's your day been?
All right. Been doing a lot of stuff around the house, getting stuff cleaned up and stuff, so been busy. But anyway, here we are now, an hour early, to talk about this final episode. So, yeah.
Yes.
All right. And look at that. John Ford Jr. throws in $50 super chat, which is an amazing way to start. So thank you very much, John. Episode was somewhat underwhelming, but I thoroughly enjoyed it, albeit not at the level of Picard Season 3. I still sincerely hope that the writers find a satisfying way to reconcile a seemingly canon contradiction about fighting the Gorn pre-TOS. Yeah, that super chat kind of sums up my thoughts as well. It was a good episode, but kind of underwhelming a little bit. Don't know why. I don't know how to describe it or explain it. It just didn't feel like it needed to be a two-parter. But we'll see part 2, and then we'll know. It might be epic in part 2. So thank you, John. Much appreciated. Good way to start off. I really appreciate that.
That helps make our day.
31 people watching, 17 likes, guys. Hit that like button if you haven't done so already. It would really help us out.
These are big finale splashes, so let's see you guys' interest and support, etc. Shown in the chat. Because, you know, this used to be a big old boom season finale, right? As we are earlier. But do we feel the season finale energy? You know?
No, I don't.
Because we just had... Because season 3 was before this, right? And there was a slight break in between. Obviously, that was 10 weeks of blowout energy. Before that was what? Wasn't Prodigy, because that got... Actually, it was Prodigy. I think it was Prodigy. But there was a break.
I don't
wow,
remember.
Things
Wow.
change, eh?
Yeah.
Before that was Lower Decks. You know, 2 animes in a row. Before that was... Strange Worlds again, actually, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember. Lots has happened. It's too much Trek to remember. How sad is that? I mean, it's not sad. It's good,
But we're about to head into those new dark days of not weekly Trek. Every week, all days, everywhere. Because, of course, for us, weekly Trek means almost daily videos. So, weekly Trek ends up being daily Trekyards for the big ones. God was ridiculous.
I like Chris Willem's idea.
Ooh.
Patel's dead. Pike will exchange the Gorn babies for the return of his crew and survivors. That'd be an interesting take. Like, they have to let her out of stasis so the babies can hatch. That'd be interesting, but I don't know if it's going to go that way. But it's a nice twist. I like that.
But the question is, do they let the babies massacre each other so the biggest one survives to take the hostages down from 10 to 1? Or do they separate them and have them be confused in their own life cycle? They're like, but I was meant to kill my brother. No.
Well, they did mention they were acting differently. They were working together on the planet instead of like attacking the other ones.
Yeah,
so
that was the children, not the infant babies that eat each other.
That's
in
true.
Like 1
That's
second.
true enough.
But that would be interesting. What if you had to separate the babies at birth and they got 10 babies? Like, but we kill each other. I didn't kill my brother. Huh? Hello, brother. No massacre. Anyway, speaking of massacre, I'm going to share this around.
Go for it. Are you going to share the fleet video while you're doing it?
Can do.
Yeah, fire on the fleet video for me. All right. So, guys, this is your turn to help us out. You can help us out by hitting that like button. You can also join the channel. So you can be part of this amazing fleet that we have here at the end of each of our videos. It changes all the time with new members coming in and old ones leaving. So you get to be assigned to a ship, get a rank, have some fun, and see where you are in the end titles of the video. It's a fun little thing that we do here, the Trekyards fleet, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. So take part if you can, hit that join button, or go over to Patreon/Trekyards and do the same thing over there if you want. There are the same ranks and privileges and perks over there as well. So check them out and help us out on that level. Or just make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Click the notification bell icon to all so you don't miss any of our edited content or our lives where you can participate and hang out with us live in real time. Or, you know, there's lots of ways to help us. So super chatting, John Ford Jr. threw in a $50 super chat to start, which is amazing. It's a great way to start a live, and especially season finale live. So much appreciated, John. If anybody else wants to super chat, we do read them all on the air, so you get your voice out there, your question, your concern, your comment, your observation, anything that you've noticed about the episode that want us to talk about. We do read them all, and we do talk about them. So if you want to super chat, that's a great way to help us support the channel and also, you know, have your voice out there. So please do so. But honestly, the easiest way is just hitting that like button. Like I said, there's 25 likes right now. I think we can easily get to 50. Hit that like button if you haven't done so yet. Also, make sure to check out the links down below to the Teespring and the TeePublic stores. We have some cool Trekyards merch down there, which we'd like to see you guys wearing. We've seen a bunch of people have it, have our shirts at conventions and stuff, and we love seeing that because we know instantly who's a Trekyards fan, besides the people that yell out Captain Foley and, you know, want to say hi. So anyway, lots of ways to support and help us, so please do so. But just being part of the conversation here, joining us for these lives is a big part as well. We love our Trekyardian family, and yes, you are the Trekyardians of the galaxy. This is true. So anyway, thank you for joining us, and we're going to have a lot of fun today. This is the home of the dad joke, don't you know? Anyway, we will get into it in just a second here once we get this shared and on the social medias. So thank you for being here. We're going to talk about the Gorn and finales. So let's do it. Hold on a second. There we go. I'm back. Sorry about that. I had a little thing I had to deal with. But anyway, so thank you guys for being here. And by all means, we want you to participate and be part of the conversation. So,
hello.
Ray Ricks throws in £5. I enjoyed this. A mashup of Alien 3 and Serenity in tone. Good use of some random backlot to save money. Also enjoyed this interpretation of Scuddy. It is a backlot. It's just outside of Pickering, which is near Toronto, where they do some filming and stuff. So yeah, it'd be kind of cool to go visit that one day. Filmed from on site from this colony. Parnassus Beta, yeah. Yes, today on Trekyards, the good, the bad, and the Gorn. Merlos is calling it now, while On or Una is going to control a Gorn baby kid in the next season. Going to control one? What do you mean? I think maybe somebody might die. We might get La'an or Tegus maybe being taken out.
I'll give at least one episode first.
What?
I'll give her one episode to herself, because we asked that for season 1.
That would be awesome.
And they refused to give her a single episode to herself. We got more, Spock and Mbenga, 2 Mbengers in fact. Bit of Pike, not much number 1, and no Ortegas at all. La'an's like 3.
Chapel, Spock, Uhura, everybody got.
Yeah, Uhura got 2, I think. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it's strange. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to do a poll as well. Well, you guys, super chat your thoughts.
Poll.
We really want to know. This is the initial burst. So let us know what you think.
Matthew DeFritas, $10. Willingness into existence. Strange New World Space Seed retcon. Kirk tells on about Khan and realization the thing she hates about herself is alive. She destroys SETI Alpha 6, hoping it kills Khan on SETI Alpha 5. Oof. That's what caused the destruction of SETI Alpha 6. Wow. That's an interesting take. Sure. I don't think she would necessarily do that. I don't think she's that kind of person. But okay, that's interesting. Philip Daholic says, "Hey, in your opinion, how many series do you think Strange New Worlds is, or seasons are you Strange New Worlds is planning ahead for, versus how many do you think it has in it? Hopefully a full 7. Fingers crossed. I don't think it has a full 7. I think they may be planned for 4 or 5 at the most, if they have a plan that far ahead. A lot of people are saying they should redo TOS. They're not going to do that. But I could see them doing like the last 2 seasons of TOS, the last 2 years of the mission maybe, in the new style. That'd be kind of cool. Will they do that? I doubt it, but anyway, just a thought.
There's a poll, Stuart. Go voteth in the polleth.
There is.
And readeth outeth the polleth. Stuart.
Is the Gorn plot a full-on retcon of TOS, and there is not, and therefore, oh, you mean therefore, not 100% canon? Yes, retcon, not 100% canon. TOS canon should be ignored. Own continuity, so whatever.
Because, boy, they all know what Gorn looked like. Spock stabs one in the face. So imagine we're watching TOS and saying, is Nimoy thinking, do you remember those years ago I fought in the Gorn War, stabbed a Gorn in the face, fought them so like, no, it doesn't ring a bell. I don't think Nimoy was thinking that. He was more thinking, wow, an unknown alien race.
Yeah.
So that's an important,
That's a good point.
It'd be hard to watch TOS and think, he never fought a Gorn. As one person online said, if this is all meant to be fully canon, that means that Kirk fought a xenomorph in hand-to-hand combat and survived and won. So if you're saying this is what a Gorn looks like, then Kirk won against that said Gorn and successfully duo-chopped him, and even the giant tail survived. Which actually makes Kirk even better, because, shit, they can run fast, they can stab you, they can use your tail, and he win. He still won, pretty much. Amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It opens up a lot of problems, but, yeah. Take it for what it is.
And, I mean, someone asked about how many seasons. I can see this being one of those few shows that they'll do as many as they can. Because Season 1 was very expensive. Season 2 was not very expensive. So, proving if they can do it on a substantially reduced budget. I'm sure Season 3 is a medium budget. Because they have to reduce budgets to justify in the streaming service era. Obviously, LED Wall makes the show a lot cheaper than it could be. You'd have to build sets every week. You'd have to go to locations every week. I mean, it's probably one of the most cost-effective shows, just because they're not spending on much, really. But it's fine. It still looks nice. You sort of fail to realize that actually, Pike and Spock was in Discovery Season 2 in 2018. So he's been playing Spock for 5 years. Doesn't feel that way because, of course, he was barely Spock in Season 2, and then there's a long delay, then they made Stranger Worlds, and then he feels like the first time Spock. But 5 years. And he hasn't done much acting around that, because obviously he's been committed to this. So, given 5 more seasons, he's been playing Spock for 10 years. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if they even want to do 10 years of one character. That's more the question. They have to keep on doing it. Because you can't lose Ethan Peck as Spock. Like you can't lose any TOS characters. They're kind of locked in. Once you put them on the show, you can't exactly. Imagine if the Kirk actor says, "I don't want to be in Season 4." It's like, huh. Well, shit.
Chris Bruce says, personally, I just say it's just limitations of TOS. If they had the budget and the tech, Gorn would have looked like this. Well, for sure they would have. However, the Gorn looked the way they looked, and they were they were done again correctly a few times in the animated series as well. You don't change the design once you have it. You can maybe tweak it or alter it slightly, and the animation would have made it much more likely that they would have updated it then. But they chose to stick to their canon because the animated series, on and off, has been canon. So, yeah, it's just one of those things, right?
And of course, if that logic applies, and every single show you ever loved will be updated, because if they could have at the time, they would have. So don't expect to have anything. All the X-Men you liked, all Marvel stuff, everything's been changed because they couldn't do it then. We'll do it better because the new people know better because they have more money. And I actually don't think for a second that Gene and Matt Jeffries have designed this level of monster. I think the point was to make it a, oh no, it's actually a relatable alien. No, it would have been really grounded. It would have been more like Linus from season 3 of Discovery. A dude in a very intricate face mask that's kind of Gorn-like, but a face underneath. Like, it wouldn't have been this. This is great, but it wouldn't have been this. It's complete. It's against what the mentality they were going for. Just the basics of it. You know.
Yeah. Ray Ricks throws in 20 pounds.
Excellent.
There have been a number of shifts in canon in Strange New Worlds. We already have a delay in the eugenics wars, early potential intro to Pike. Different aesthetics. Disco Strange New Worlds feels more like a mirror continuity the further we go forward. Wouldn't say mirror continuity, but like a timeline adjacent.
Yeah.
I love that description.
Yeah,
so.
just don't take it seriously, you know?
Yeah.
Just, it's a show. This one's a TV show. That one's a legacy factor.
Yeah, exactly.
People aren't going to remember the show in the same way they do in TOS in 50 years.
No, the people growing up with it might, but...
Yeah, but it's different because this is in the storm that is all of Star Trek. TOS is unique in almost every way. Like, it stands alone in its own unique right. This is just one of the many shows. You know, it's also spawned from Discovery. You know, it's different, but it won't have the same... You know...
Yeah.
Etc.
Philippine says, did all the Gorn we see on TOS, Enterprise, Lower Decks, and all the animated series all dock their tails? Maybe. Or maybe it's just a different subspecies of Gorn. We don't know. Use your headcanon to figure that out yourself.
Yep, all the caveats under the sun. They're just doing their own thing. So, Stuart.
Yes.
How many times do you watch this episode now? What is your
3.
current... 3? Okay. So we watched this together, which is our review, right after the first watch. Very first reacting-y. We've done your first review react, which was your second, really. What do you think now? Having thought about it, discussed it, etc.
It feels underwhelming, as I said. It was good. It was a good episode. I don't think two-parter. I think they could have wrapped it up quite quickly at the end there. I also don't like the way it ended. I wish there would have been something more concrete, like an order, retreat, withdrawal, prepare, whatever. Something. Kind of to give it the punch that Best of Both Worlds had, which was like the first true cliffhanger in Trek. Give it that punch, something. As I said on my first reaction last night, this one doesn't have the cinematic feel of Best of Both Worlds. If you go back and watch Best of Both Worlds Part 1, the music was quite epic. The way it was laid out, and just that killer ending with Riker firing on Locutus, saying fire. I mean, it's like dun 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 dun. You get that music at the end, that big build up. This is, and it's like to be continued. There was nothing cinematic or impactful about the ending, and that really ruined it for me. The rest of the episode was good. It didn't feel like a season finale at all. There wasn't enough really on the line, even though, yeah, a bunch of the crew got, abducted, essentially. It just didn't... It felt like a mid-season episode. There was nothing... and this is the problem I'm having. I'm having a hard time describing why it feels this way to me. Because there was a lot of good stuff in there. It's still maintaining the Strange New Worlds vibe, and they're constantly good episodes. It didn't do the little bit of extra that was needed for a season finale, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. I do enjoy it still watching it. There's a lot of good stuff in here, but it's very much Star Trek The Walking Dead. It has the same kind of look to it. And, Instruction Scotty was cool. There's a lot of cool stuff here for sure. But like I said, I don't think it is necessarily deserving of a two-parter, nor is it... I don't know. Like I said, I have a hard time describing why it didn't quite work for me. It's not the best episode of the season at all. It's somewhere, in the middle of the road as far as that goes. Maybe talking about it will make it better, but seeing an adult Gorn was amazing. Yay. We only saw it in a spacesuit, though. I want to see one out of the spacesuit. But, so they gave us a lot of cool stuff. They killed a lot of people. I'm sure Spock killed a bunch of people that were still alive on the saucer section, which was major plot hole, in my opinion. Makes Chapel look bad, considering she didn't check any of the people around her to see how they were doing, or do a internal scan of the ship or anything to see if there were more survivors. It makes some of the characters look bad, and it didn't go the extra mile that it could have. I don't know. That's kind of my summation on that. So, how about you? How many times have you seen it?
Oh, I can never do these things twice. They get so boring at 3. I mean, there's only so much depth in them. And I watch these with a really, sort of focused thing. It is different on second watch. Oh, it's such a tricky one, Stuart. It's so tricky, because I sort of enjoyed the first 10 minutes more, because I knew where it was going. So I saw the subtle hints and the foreshadowing and the stuff that is meant to imply something but not go anywhere. But I again got bored in the middle first half when it's a very long and grounded plan to planet, but it's a very slow, methodical pace. It's not overly engaging for me. Like, it's okay, and okay is not good enough for this sort of show. Once they get to the planet, it's very... I saw this last season, it felt like. And it's nice on a location, right, LED wall, that's great. But it felt medium to low budget. Again, slow, not particularly like, wow. I did like the Spock thing more the second time. So I liked the last bit more. Because I was appreciating... I knew that they were going to do the full thing, so I could appreciate the movements more. But then the ending is sort of both abrupt and yet predictable when you watch it a second time, because there's so few minutes, and yet obviously they keep ramping up. Definitely think though that the lack of budget is very apparent in this one. There's almost no space shots, and by that I mean, like, I do more in one of my films than they did on a zero budget, right? There's very, very few. There's how many do we need to have, and there's that many. And I think the ending, while I understand what they were going for thematically, of the whole will end on Pike's face, by just having all the chaos out of the view screen, or the big ass window, it's kind of abstract. And because there's already such shakes, you're led to believe they're already doomed. So the tension goes from like 0 to 100, and then it slows right way down to 2. Yep. So there's a huge whiplash of like, do I like of caring and weirdness. And it doesn't work that Pike freezes, because it would work if the girlfriend was on the ship, because that's who he really cares about. He wouldn't freeze because, like, the 30 people that were down on the planet from the Saratoga whatever crew survived. There's like 20, 30, 40 people, maybe. No, but he said a couple. He said there was a couple hundred. Yeah, but including civilians who he doesn't care about specifically. Like, that's random people, right? He can't care about everyone because he's got a crew to work out. I don't really get the freeze point, unless it was the girlfriend, but there wasn't the girlfriend. So, and it's very much like, and goodbye. It needed honestly an ending space shot to kind of set the tone. Kind of like that, honestly, that shot from Enterprise that we all remember to this day, where there's India attacking Enterprise, and the thing keeps panning out, and it keeps getting attacked, and you see ship coming off, and this ship is losing almost the rest of its life, and it probably isn't going to live. And the reason it lives is because the next episode they get called away, and the ship is basically trashed the rest of the season. It's almost dead. and you feel it. So if they had a pull out from the Enterprise where they're getting attacked and I guess not firing back, and seeing the shields go down, the impacts, like the ship's basically dead, and into episode, then you'd get the feel of like, oh, now we're doing Year of Hell season or whatever. But they're not going to do that. They're just gonna next episode they're gonna, all right, let's go, warp out. Okay, now we're gonna go rescue them. Right, it's gonna be a very. I think the vibe is gonna be entirely different, because no way they wrote season 3 before they filmed this, so they have this idea of maybe where they could go, but with the strikes, with the cast, with the time, they're going to, I think, do not what they planned, etc. So it's a.
I disagree on that. I think they probably wrote this one as a full story and realized it had to be a two-parter, so they know the ending. They might have already filmed the last bit of it to have that jump start on the next season while they were there. Well,
no, I mean, they would start filming the next season potentially in like a week, so they wouldn't necessarily. They might have just back-to-backed it. Potentially. Well, that would have been 3 seasons back-to-back. I don't know, it depends. Because technically, if they wrote the next part, that means the writers had to be contracted for season 3 with new contracts. You can't just write another episode of contract. That's why you don't tend to write the season next one, because you have to have another year of contract. You have to have approval for them, and they're strict. They're striked. Because if they had that contract, then that writer wouldn't be on strike, because that writer would have been paid for straight. Now, obviously, they did start season 3, so obviously they have written season 3, but like I don't think they would have done it straight away. Anyway.
Well, there's a few things I want to say after that, but let's get to the super chat. Stephen W. Fathry throws in $5.47. Thank you, Stephen. Writer Davey Perez has suggested how Arena can still make sense. I'll talk about it tonight on Text Trek Stream. Thanks for another season of content.
I'm going to have to tune in on now. Damn it.
Yeah, go tune in to Text Trek, man. That's awesome.
And that certainly helps if the writer of this kept that in the back of his mind, knowing how it doesn't work, thinking, well, how can I...
These aren't actually the Gorn.
Well...
Skeleton, Strange New Worlds #1 fan, throws in $10.
Thank you.
My challenge is recording this Gorn story with TOS Gorn, or reconciling this Gorn story with TOS Gorn story. TOS Gorn ship is very different than the Strange New Worlds Gorn ship, so I see why Kirk's Enterprise didn't recognize the ship immediately. Yeah, and even between TOS and Remastered, the ship changed too, so no wonder the Remastered version didn't notice it either.
Kirk is ever confused.
It was just a dot of light in the first one, for Christ's sakes. But anyway, yeah. Now, going back to the whole... Best of Both Worlds was the very first cliffhanger in Trek, which a lot of people were pissed
Menagerie?
about. Well, it's not a cliffhanger, though. It was based on the cage. I guess it would have been a two-parter. But there was also not a season finale, so...
No, but that was the first cliffhanger. The first end-of-season cliffhanger. There you go.
You had to wait a week. Right, this one everybody was all up in arms because they had to wait 3 or 4 months to see the conclusion of the fire at Locutus. I'm pissed because now we normally would have to wait probably about a year, first of all, for this to reconcile, and not only that, now with the strike on, it could be more than that. So it's just kind of annoying that they decided to do this, honestly. They didn't know the strike was coming, obviously, that's fine. But I'm just really annoyed. I remember the uproar back when Best of Both Worlds aired. And it's like, we have to wait 3 or 4 months to a conclusion to this? Well, sorry about your luck, network television fans. And streaming service is a different... I don't know. That's kind of just what I want to say. Sorry, I'm done.
Yeah, and also, like I say, it'll be a long extra time. But, the point of a strike is not to be on strike. It's to force, it's basically put a gun to the heads of the executives. Like, you have no choice, because every day you're losing 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million. They're already pushing back movies, and it only takes so many days or weeks until the studio projections catch up, and it's like, wow, our income for next quarter is down by 85%. It's like, yeah, because you got no releases.
Yeah.
Obviously further than that, but like you start seeing, and then stock price goes down because now, there's no income coming in, and then they can't invest in new things, and then so the point of strike is to force the hand, because obviously everyone in the strike is hurting, and they might lose their houses, they might lose their rents, they might people might be homeless from the strike because working actor barely earns anything, can't legally act for 3 months, 4 months. Imagine having no income for 4 months with LA rent, etc. So, you're ruining both sets of lives. It's kind of the point. It's last ditch. So it's in their interest to stop it soon. And I'm sure everybody's eager to get back to work.
Yeah.
So, but the problem is the VFX industry is having problems with, because a lot of the stuff obviously is VFX centric. So you've got to get that out the door. So just rushing a season, well, you can't necessarily because VFX.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Ray Ricks, member for 17 months at the rank of captain, says the show also continues to show that Pike isn't really a great military commander. He sometimes seems out of his element and overwhelmed in these situations. Seems more comfortable negotiating than in direct armed conflict. Absolutely. Pike is an idealistic, peace is best. He's not a wartime captain. He is not a good battle captain. He is the nice guy, So put in this kind of position, he wants to do the right thing, which is save their people, but getting direct orders to not engage and to withdraw, essentially, so we don't start a full-scale war. Yeah, he's got problems with that, and it definitely shows a weakness in his character. Pike's a likable guy. He's a good guy, but is he captain material? Could be debated. He's more of a Picard-era captain, qualified, not so much on the front lines of.
Well,
I can almost see why they didn't call the Enterprise back for the war with the Klingons.
And that's the irony. Maybe that is why they sent it away. It's like, well, we could redo the Connie, but we don't want to take you off her, and you're not a good wartime captain, Chris, because there weren't really wars, and then suddenly there was a war. Which I get, if he can't deal with war, then he might freeze. Because he's done great in diplomacy and other situations. Not everyone's great at everything, right? Kirk happens to be a kind of all-rounder.
Mm-hmm.
Good for him. And Picard's also an all-rounder, just he prefers not to fight. But boy, Mr. Worf will jump in and lay down the torpedo order. When he's eventually allowed to, because you're not allowed to most of the time.
And Eric Martin throws in $20. In my opinion, Best of Both Worlds had excellent pacing and build-up of suspense. This episode spends too much time on more minor plot points and has to rush other major plot points. So the build-up and suspense doesn't really work well. Yeah, absolutely. Even, trying to jump in real quick, even the demarcation line that the Gorn give go not only through the system, but right by the planet, kind of like last minute. Just annex the entire system. You wouldn't necessarily have the line there. With the Enterprise there and being within range of the Cayuga saucer so that Chapel can see it, the Gorn ship that was there would have known the Enterprise was there and should have been face to face with it the entire time. Don't cross the line.
Yeah, line of sight in space is really short at that size.
Yeah,
exactly. It's obviously reach out and touch it for dude in a spacesuit. Yeah. Obviously the Gorn, which they don't even try and address that the Gorn are watching the Enterprise.
Nope.
There's a lot.
Well, that's because it snuck in behind the moon, is what I think they were going for. But then, for Chapel to see the Enterprise just sitting there,
and no moon in the shot.
Yeah, and the Gorn ship actively scanning the debris when the shuttle goes down. It's like.
And also, sensors work. If you can see them, they can see you. Yeah. So as soon as you can, if you're using the sensor, the blind spot of the moon to hide you, you also can't see, because your sensors aren't going round, because then theirs could go round.
Yeah.
If there's interference and you can't see, or you're like that. Normally in a situation you'd warp in, you turn all things off. So if they scan for you, there'd be no signs.
Or warp in, launch a probe to the other side of the moon, have it look like debris. It's small enough, and get the telemetry.
Dude, that's
back.
Genius. They should have done that. That's so much cleverer.
Get the telemetry back from that.
Oh, that's so good. There's a lot of we aren't sci-fi writers, and we aren't going to close this circle for plot hole elements in this episode. A lot.
Yeah.
A ton. It's very un-TOS-ian that they There's a. It's not like Discovery. There isn't this giant epic action adventure feel, which is funny because it kind of should have been, and there really wasn't actually. It was very un-action feeling, but there's loads of things that are what, and we'll get into them because this is a very scene by scene sort of episode. It's a good overall ride, but it definitely, for me, is not even close to season's 1 finale, which was a very epic movie-feeling ride with a ton of cool stuff, a ton of action, ton of money. Roman Commander was great.
We say this about two-parters all the time. The part 1 might feel better after we see part 2.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
It's all about setup and payoff, right? So
yeah.
Know what the payoff's going to be. So it's hard to kind of judge this episode based on that. Like, we got the setup. Sure, cool. Is it going to be much better after you watch part 2? Probably. But we just don't know that yet. So, yeah.
But it's funny because obviously everything they've used this episode, the conceit of the story is we've got crew on the planet. That's the story of part 1. That's not going to be in part 2 because it's irrelevant. So part 2 will be entirely different. Not so a bad thing, just there'll be different episodes, you know?
Yeah. Hypno member makes a good point, though. How would the probe work if the Gorn tech was blocking all their scans and communications? Good point. Yeah, because after the tower goes down at the end, all of a sudden, like, you see everything fire up and you see, like, all the scans being activated and stuff.
Well, no, they make a very distinct point that the blocking scanner affects the planet. Spock detects an incoming warp signature and then a green ship warping in. So they can detect inter-system tech because they detect all the Gorn ships moving in. So they can happily detect the solar system. Not an issue. Otherwise, they couldn't try and plot a course because you need real up-to-date telemetry of the debris. You couldn't do that without scans. You couldn't guess where the debris was 3 hours ago. It's going to move, right? It's only the planet they can't scan except visually. So they're absolutely fine.
It just reminded me of something I absolutely hate in this episode. Where number 1's looking at the display of all the debris, and Ortegas is like, "What's this stuff? Are you kidding me? What do we pay you for? You know it's the debris. You're looking at it out the view screen, for Christ's sakes."
You're the pilot. You stare in front of you.
That bothered me, but anyway.
Okay, so I just did one scene in one of my things where the actor can't know a thing that they, in theory, should know. It's hard sometimes when, if they know everything at all times, it's like, well, you wouldn't see this conversation, you wouldn't see this development, they'd already be to the next part of the plan, right? Although you would expect Ortega's number 1 to very, very closely work together on a course to get through, because number 1 ain't flying, she doesn't know what's possible. She's also next to Ortega's. So if you and me were together, right, and you're doing an important thing, Ortega's isn't just this for 2 hours, just looking. She'd be like, "Oh yeah, oh that's a good idea." She didn't go nap for 2 hours. Doesn't make sense.
Sean O'Sullivan, €2. They mostly come out at night. Mostly. Beautiful. Kyle Swinderman, $5. When will the new Trek creators start to hire some sci-fi writers?
Well, how many sci-fi writers do you have these days?
Yeah.
You know, aren't the classics kind of classics for a reason?
Eric Martin throws in another $20. My God, man. Initially, the Gorn are super violent for no reason with the planet and the Cayuga. And then all of a sudden, with that line, and only sending one hunter ship, it was inconsistent with the Gorn. The Gorn now seemed to want to de-escalate things. Well, I think they're making a point of that. Like, they even say that the ones on the planet seem to be working together, which is weird, as far as we know. So I don't know if they're... And even it was mentioned, too, maybe we can talk to them. Maybe we can work something out. So I think they're leading to that, and that's going to fall into how things are working in Arena. Like, let's agree this never happened. Expunge all your records of all of our ships, anything you know about the Gorn. We don't even exist. We're just that area of space. It's the Gorn. Delete everything else, and don't teach anything at the Academy. We'll erase everybody's minds, and we'll be fine. It's like that episode of TNG where they're like... erase all of it, evidence of our existence. Clues, that episode, yeah.
Well, it's like the Kobayashi Maru. Everyone's memories gets deleted what it is after they take it because they have to do it. Now, see, Eric, I think that, as you said, that is kind of the point. And I actually think that's actually really great. That there is a huge disconnect between the initial act and everything else, because the fact that the Gorn are not presented as the same level of monster is the most important part of the episode, because they are a spacefaring, empire-makeable species that we know later you can relate to and talk to and have peace with, etc. And then buy shawarma and kebabs from. There's a journey here, not from them, but from our understanding of them. They've always been smart species that can do things. You don't think that in 120 years the guy in the low deck space station evolved far enough to be not having to murder people every day as a Gorn breeding planet. No, they can do it now. So it's more a case of this is their planet, and I wish they kind of said we annexed it. This is Gorn space now. I wish they'd said that flat out. The territory's moved, but they didn't say that. But whatever, it's implied but not said. This is their planet now. Therefore, people who are there, just like an alien, are just host people. It's now a breeding planet. That's it. So they just put some eggs. They put some eggs down. Eggs make more aliens. Gorn. They kill the rest of everyone else. The Gorn let them mature over the next couple of days and weeks, and then they grab them onto the spaceship. So you only need one ship in orbit. And the fact they put the line down told Starfleet, yeah, if you attack, we're going to war, bitch. And the fact that Starfleet says don't do it means that they know they can't do it, so Gorn are very chill about it. And once they've initially done this massacre of the colony, there's literally no other steps in terms of Starfleet, right? It's a hands-off thing. So eventually when the Gorn destroyer comes in, it's not to destroy the Strange Worlds Enterprise, it's just there to pick up the Gorn babies who have now grown up far enough. Because we've only seen the Gorn twice, right? They don't know a fuck thing about their life cycle. Let's be honest. What Arn thinks she knows is just what she's seen. So the fact that she says they're working together, yes, exactly, because they're not kids anymore. They're 3-day-old Gorn who can now work as a team and then grow up and then be sentient people, So the fact that they're different to the first time we see them is really important and really good. What do you think, Stuart, of that tirade? Were you listening?
I was reading comments, so give me a quick summation.
Oh, it's great that we saw more advanced Gorn that weren't just shooty, fighty, kill.
Oh, yeah.
Because spacefaring, the fact there's the second half Gorn are smarter and not as aggressive and not pew-pew is good.
Yeah. Well, I was reading some of the comments while you were doing that, based on that, and I was mulling over what they were saying. It could be that these Gorn are the good guys, and actually maybe some of the people that they beamed up were actually infected with eggs, that they're going to reverse that. And we'll find out that those are not, in fact, the Gorn that were in season 1, or those were infected Gorn, or as we said earlier, some kind of experiment gone awry. I think there might be a misunderstanding going on here to some degree. Maybe another Gorn ship came in and destroyed the Cayuga and beamed baby Gorn down, and they started doing their thing. And another Gorn ship came in and was scanning the debris, and then they were the ones that were on board the Enterprise, seeing if they can find survivors, communicate in some way. That's why I was trying to access the terminal. I think it makes sense that that's the case, and it's going to be subverting our expectations a little bit for the second episode. And that would explain a lot of why Arena can happen.
Or at least them re-maneuvering into Arena. It can't happen from here, but...
Exactly.
Interesting, although why did the reinforcements, who are therefore the good Gorn, also shoot the Enterprise and try and kill it? Because they were not shooting to stun, they were shooting to blow them up.
That's a good point.
Can't be good guys if you're trying to kill... And they have Gorn babies aboard. You think they'd know?
Well, maybe because... I was going to say no. Because they beamed Battelle aboard with some of the... I don't know. Maybe... I don't know. There's ways you could write yourself out of that situation and have it still make sense.
Yeah.
But
that's... A Gorn Civil War is interesting. It's weird.
It is weird.
It's, and weird? I don't know. But Devereaux also asks, what do you think of the colony being based in a small town in America? Cool. Great.
Very TOS.
It's a nice time to live for a lot of people, so, it's a nice homely vibe. Do you really
Very
want
TOS. They're just reusing the sets that they had, the backlot.
Yeah. Do you really want a metal metropolis every time? No, nice picket fences, quite nice to live. Nice pleasant existence.
Ensign Ricky is here with $5. I wonder if they're going to go with a full Zindi Dominion-like arc fighting the Gorn in Season 3. Episode was good, except for a few spots like Chapel surviving. Yeah, it's the convenience of that. Eric Martin throws in another $5. Next season, the Metrons show up in togas and save the day. I can write this stuff in my sleep. Indeed. We chose not to fight, not to kill each other. There is hope for you both. I'm going to erase your memories. There you go. The Metrons could step in and fix and make Arena make sense.
And ER says, how were they certain that Chapel was the only survivor in the source separation before they dropped it? Seems like bad plan. Yes, they killed the crew.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier.
They also killed all the people who might be there for any random reason, civilians, and they killed those people. All it needed was one line after the thing crashing the thing saying, scan the Kuratuga, whatever it was called. Any life signs? No.
Kayuga.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or 10 life signs. Beat them up.
Yep.
No, they couldn't have because it was used to blood. No, they couldn't have. No, it was used to destroy the thing, so they had to kill them either way. There was no way. So they killed the rest of that crew. There was zero chance she was the only survivor. Zero.
And I said to Samuel, the odds of Kirk and Pike and Patel and Scotty surviving that impact with the shuttle that close to the thing was like almost non-existent. Well, the chance of you taking out your own captain without even realizing it.
Well, the scene was played as if they died. I mean, yeah. if you watch it again, the fireball hits them.
Yeah.
There's no shields. That's a saucer detonation. There ain't no fireball. Like, they're dead. Like, the way that's played is they're dead.
Yeah.
And you could have put the thing like 2 miles away, but it was like they kill their crew. They kill so many people in this episode without actually killing them. It's crazy, and that's just bad cinematography and bad framing, right? Easy things to avoid. Yeah, crazy.
Well, let's actually start reviewing the episode. I'm almost an hour into this.
So we start with not the sun that Scotty's around. Even though second time round you're led to believe it is, but it isn't, because he said a sector away.
Yep.
So ignore this visual.
Parasus Beta, as we get introduced to this colony that's not in Federation space, which the Cayuga is there to help just with their crops and getting things organized and getting inoculations done, and just happen to have Chapel aboard because she's on her way to see Dr. Corby.
Which, of course, is laughable second time, because how exactly is going out to the edge and outside Federation space quicker in going back into Federation space? She well,
space is 3-dimensional, so it works. If it's over there, and your course goes there, just do that. It's fine.
I suppose, but Enterprise is also like a day away, so she wasn't even there to help the colony. She was there for a lift, but like she could have taken a shuttle. They have warp. It was weird.
Yeah.
There's not a good reason for her to be there. They didn't explain it well enough. It's funny because it would have made sense if they just said they need medical care and she's like the best doctor in range. Okay.
Yeah. We got Pike calling Patel, and it's like, oh, we're busy. There's that cute little conversation, and I love that they referred to the musical in this one.
Yes,
not bursting into song every 10 minutes, so that's a minor victory. So all the people that hated the musical, suckers, just got to hear about it if you watch this episode. But then the signal, of course, gets cut off, and we see the large, which you assume is the ship that destroyed the Cayuga, come in, and then cut to the intro. So, Now,
of course, last episode they made a point of saying we can't real-time communicate across the Federation.
Yes.
Which means Pike is so damn close to this planet, which means on the edge of Federation space, in their vicinity, which means how did Pike contact the Admiral in a later scene? Those things do not connect.
Yep.
Doesn't work. Just flat out doesn't work. Again.
Sergeant Montgomery puts in $2. It says, hello photon torpedoes disguised as space junk.
Yes. Yeah. But it's a fun little we have some money scene, which I appreciate.
There are some errors as well.
Yeah. The jacket, she has the wrong jacket.
Yeah, she's wearing a USS Enterprise jacket. Now, it could be said hey, you know what? It's her boyfriend's jacket. It's one of Pike's that she just took because girls tend to do that kind of thing.
She's also
Very
wearing his boxers,
very unprofessional to be wearing the jacket of another starship when you're the captain.
Wait, would it fit her? He's substantially larger than her. Are you saying Pike is a small woman size, or that?
You can clearly see it's USS Enterprise in the one shot.
And it's funny because she wears both, so I'm wondering either they digitally changed the patch, or they filmed a reshoot and gave her the wrong jacket, because you wouldn't have two women's smalls. I guess she and Chapel share the same size, and just they had the wrong jacket. It's dumb. Oh, would you like Pike's iPad stand?
Yes.
It's just the most basic. I love it. It's just an iPad stand. I love it. I love it. Sorry.
And the ensign she talks to has a USS Kaga jacket on. So it seems weird to put your main character, your captain, in the wrong jacket.
Continuity errors before, but yeah, the shuttle comes in, which second time hey, it's Gorn'a, which is fun. And then
I didn't even register that.
Yeah, that's Scotty.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it is interesting that this giant thing in the air is clearly a battleship. Why is it in the atmosphere? Shut up. Doesn't matter. Because it could have been the tower being dropped. But the tower's further away.
Yeah.
And also the tower wouldn't hover. Why would it hover? And you would think you'd hear or see a Enterprise getting blown up in orb. Would you see that? Would you? I feel like, I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Not necessarily.
But clearly, before the tower comes in, because she's able to send out a signal, but only via the comm, because the ship's blown up, we assume. So I guess her communicator can travel across the galaxy. This is a bit distorted, but doesn't matter. Oh well.
And then we get April saying, "Look, this incident could spark a war between us and the Gorn, but it's outside Federation space right now, so we got to be very careful how we deal with this." Pike's like, "Well, they attacked us. No, they attacked a colony outside of Federation space." But the argument could be made that they also destroyed a Starfleet vessel.
Well, anyway, they don't know that yet.
No, they don't.
But that's super true, actually. But I love his vibe. He's like, well, technically, they've not actually attacked Starfleet. Like, it's that lovely level of, like, Jesus, Chris, if we attack them, they'll say, you attacked us in giant war. So, please don't attack them.
Yeah. And the whole, you got this, Chris? Your personal feelings for Captain Patel aren't going to cause any problems?
Marie. For Marie?
Yeah.
I always now register that name, though.
And you notice the pictures of the NX-01 and the Phoenix are different pictures again. These are the Season 1 pictures. The different angles of the ships, which is awesome. I don't know why in Season 1 they're like...
No, wait, not the Season 1 one, because they're white in Season 1.
Yeah, but it's the same picture. It's the exact same picture, just it was white in Season 1 for some reason. They didn't light it properly.
Well, no, they were just clear. They weren't coloured. That's weird. So you're saying they had renders, they made like plexiglass of, now just put the renders in.
I didn't think it was plexiglass. It just looked like it was lit wrong the whole season. It just looked stupid. You could barely see the ships.
Yeah,
we were looking for them.
Yeah, they weren't color.
But anyway, there are different angles on the NX now. Again, back to Season 1 style as far as the angle goes.
Cool. Well, classic angles. Yeah, and then they and of course, insult and injury. They then arrive at the planet outside of Federation space, so he's able to real-time phone call with the Admiral, who's probably on Starbase 1. He doesn't have to be, but unless you say he's not, he's on Starbase 1, so he's in every single episode of the season. You can't talk to him real-time. And also, how many days or week did it take to get to the planet? Right? Because A, if it took days, that's good for the colony why it got trashed. But Chapel isn't surviving days unconscious on a ship. So it has to be hours. Hours, which means the Enterprise is literally in the sector, is like less than a light year away. Which means they are talking across the galaxy, which they can't do.
Mm-hmm. Well, you could assume that, yeah, I guess you got to assume that April's on Starbase 1, but he's an Admiral. There has been a buildup of Gorn'a activity, so he could be on a ship nearby. Like closer than Starbase 1.
That would be great, but
it's not explained, so
not even slightly. It just annoys me. The pacing is so quick that it makes you not like shush. It is the vibe. Don't think about it. It's like, yeah, but we do think about this stuff. It's actually kind of important, at least to people like us.
Anyway, they sneak around the far side of the moon and come around and see just debris. The Cayuga is just in pieces. I love the magnification of the saucer section. But what a say what an ugly field, but I mean it's a debris field. I just meant the colors are not the gray, you know. So anyway, then we get the intro. The intro was just before this. Sorry. Anyway, we find out transporters are down. Communications are all down. They need to get to the planet somehow. Basically, there's a huge thing jamming their everything.
Well, on guesses, because that's what it's on the other planet.
Yeah. And if there are survivors of the Cayuga, of course, based on their training, they'd be trying to contact with signal flares, fires, smoke. We got to find a way to reach anybody. But yeah, the incoming warp signatures are detected, and a Gorn Hunter ship shows up. So the other ship that took care of all this is gone.
Yes.
Already.
Although, given that, I guess they're all like an hour away, they could walk back instantly.
Yeah.
So there's and it's interesting because Patel, you know, she knows they're outside Federation space. There are no ships in range. You know what I mean? Like if you as a captain, you haven't got any shuttles, you've got 20 people, you know, in your, like, you really, I mean, you would lose hope. You know, like, you can't do anything. She hasn't even got any phasers because she's not armed, right? And that's actually a good point. They didn't even, why would you have armed people down for help civilians to do crops? I mean, hiding in a room is all they can do. It's kind of like a, you know, and she's also been infected. She knows she's going to die in a day. I mean, my God, that's kind of one of the worst case situations ever. It's like being in a blank room and you haven't even got MacGyver. You've got nothing.
Well, we get an email from the Gorns saying, "Hey guys, here's this line now." Which,
wait, do you say they fly now?
No, I did not. There's this line now.
Oh, sorry.
Because they don't fly now. Which, when you see the briefing room graphic, the line is really weird because it separates. No, it's right at the planet. You wouldn't necessarily do that for these things. You would either have it like the entire system or whatever, but some comes so close, even between the planet and the moon. So it's a very fine line, literally. And look, the Cayuga saucer is on our side of the line, so yay! Not doing any bad things there.
Well, I mean, my assumption in the scene is that, because they don't say the moon is hiding their scans. No. And not just that, when they warp in, they actually target the Gorn ship. And ships are designed to detect target lock. That's a feature. So the Gorn know they've arrived, they're targeting, but they know that, luckily, in the last 5 minutes, even though they've been attacking the planet for 3 days, they sent an email out. Which also, actually, yeah, it takes 3 weeks to get a signal out to deep space. How the hell is Starfleet telling the Enterprise in real time this thing just happened?
So the Gorn had to contact Starfleet. Starfleet had to contact the Enterprise.
So it's been like 2 months, is what you're saying. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, it pisses me off so much. Oh! Anyway. But I like to think that the Gorn ship is sitting there being like, "We see you! There's a line!" Like, that's why there's no escalation, because they know they can't cross it. So they can just...
The line has been drawn here, no further.
Until next week, when they're going to push further. So I don't buy for a second they can't detect them, right? Everything's out in the open, that's why the vibe's kind of odd. But it would have been nice that it had a scene where there was a line, like a like in Picard Season 3, where they go from the space dock graphic to the space CG. It would be nice they had this shot, and the line is whatever, and there's both ships come up near to each other, and then we zoom in, and the line that disappears. It's not a real line. It's just a figment of the, it's a it's a thing on a map. But both ships like hovering, like, well, we can't do anything, can we?
Yeah.
That would have been fun, but whatever.
Then we get the whole plan. We need to volunteers for this mission. I'm going down. I'm taking a shuttle. A bunch of people volunteer, and he says, nope. Number one, Spock, you guys should stay here. Your skills might be needed here. Even Kirk comes in, Sam Kirk, and says, yeah, last time I was kind of terrified of these things, but I want to go down and kind of redeem myself and also learn about them, see how we can kill them. Which we then find out about Crate 32, which inter-ship beaming still works. Beam that crate up, which apparently the security officer, who should know this stuff, doesn't know about. Just captain's eyes only, I guess. That's also another stupid thing, especially after she fires it. You think head of security would have been totally briefed on these things, first of all, and probably test fired a few of them. Because later on the planet she fires it and says, wow, these settings really do work for the Gorn. Just seemed a little odd to me.
I hadn't considered that. What's funny though is these aren't even new weapons in any way. No. It's the rifle with a tube on top. It's a phaser we saw 4 years ago, and it's a grenade they don't use, which I'm sure existed 100 years ago. It's nothing special. It's just a grenade that sends out a chemical, right? There's nothing new here. Specifically new. It's just reuse. I mean, what's also funny is that, are they assuming, Starfleet, that, because the way they frame the scene, this is the only crate, is the vibe they give off. This is our kit.
Yeah.
So
Crate 32.
Yeah. Do they expect the only time we're gonna fight Gorn is a single landing party down to a planet? Surely.
And only 2 rifles and 2 hand phasers.
Well, it's probably a second layer of foam, and there's probably
maybe.
I think they use 3 rifles in the episode anyway. Don't they have more than? I think they have more than 2 of each. Yeah, there's definitely 3 rifles. Anyway, wouldn't you expect Gorn to be attacking the ship? So you'd need to arm everybody. So you'd say, we have a room filled with crates. The way they frame it is, we've got a secret little room, secret crate that we're just going to pull in that's useful for very little. It's a weird scene. And like I say, Lara not knowing is odd. Maybe because she was MIA for 2 weeks.
Maybe. But they've had a lot of time in season 2. Mm-hmm. We were hearing about the Gorn referenced like 2 or 3 times during the season. Like the biobed 2 was down because of the incident that happened with the Gorn here. So it just seems weird.
And also, wouldn't she be very pissed? She's the only one with genuine emotional damage. And she's like, those fuckers didn't tell me we have anti-Gorn guns that I couldn't test.
Yeah.
Like, she's the only person that really cares. No offense to everyone else. It didn't even occur to me. That's a good point. But yeah, so with pride, he pulls out the same rifles with the tube on, and they hand it like, oh, anti-Gorn guns.
I had really hoped at that moment it would have been like the TOS phaser rifle. Something more like that design.
And what's funny, the day before, the original guy that designed the Discovery phaser rifle and Strange World tricorder, which are all 3 great designs, posted unused art of his TOS phaser rifle variant. And it was pretty good. And I was like, well, damn, there's that like, shit, they're going to use that, because that would make so much sense, like you say, like a new high-power phaser rifle, like a beam. That would have been so nice, because pulses they're not powerful enough, you have to beam phaser them, and then suddenly people move to beams, because beams are more powerful in general, because they can hold a charge longer. Nope, they're just rifles with a tube on. And they can just detect Gorn now. Like,
I haven't seen those concept arts. I want to see that.
I mean, it was still Discovery, right? But it was I saw his logic. I like with the phaser and his logic was a good logic. So then it cuts to a really weird edit that for both times stood out to me. Like, she's just looking at a console. Like, oh, I've tried to do so many math things, and Ortega's like, what's going over there?
What's all this stuff? What, you mean the debris
that you've also had to monitor because you're a pilot and it's spatial debris? Yeah, she looks like an idiot there. Oh.
Yeah, what's this stuff here? Debris from the Cayuga. Oh, Sweet. So, anyway, yeah, we could, let's. They're not going to shoot the debris because they've already done that. So let's cross. I guess the best way to cross is like what's right in front of us. Let's disguise the shuttle. Again, how did they disguise the shuttle? We'll get to that in a second. But did they like tractor beam in some debris and like lock it to the shuttle as the shuttle launched? Did they pull some junk debris out of their ship to throw on the shuttle before it launched? I wish you'd seen the shuttle launch and maybe like magnetically like thump, 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 attach a few pieces of debris that were floating nearby.
Also, just a heads up, if you want to get a Cerritos from Mars Replica, they're currently online. And they're still in stock.
Don't announce it to everybody. Good God.
Well, I trust no one is going to get one before Stuart. And also the Lower Decks Titan, the shitty blue one. I mean the blue one. So I can vamp if you like, Stuart.
Go for it. I'm doing that right now.
Okay.
I'm muting you.
There we go. So yes, so it's kind of odd. I mean, I assume they just put shit on in the shuttle bay, which would take a while. But I mean, time means nothing in this era or whatever. The fact they literally go past a hunter, which is literally there just to monitor the Enterprise and the debris and help the Gorn inside the ship, etc. It's odd. It would be fine, absolutely fine if the engines, if no lights were on in the ship and it was genuinely booby trap level where it was doing no Danny. There's a lot of thoughts in this. We're actually having both a great time. It's just there's so many little problems in this one, and we haven't done the full debate yet, which is why it's fun because we have this sort of fun. But anyway, so so if there's no power and they're just floating, I could buy it. But the fact they're moving, the fact they have energy, the fact that the nacelles on, any power will be detected in debris. Debris does not have that level of power and movement. Gorn are not stupid, and they're super alert right now for anything. I don't believe it. A good basic idea, bad execution. It's just bad execution in general. But then, yes, it goes in. I think Stuart didn't get one. Oh, I'm sorry, Stuart. I'm sorry.
What happened? I don't even know what's happening.
Did you not get
yes,
one?
Debris.
Did you?
Go on what? What happened? I might have got a Cerritos. I don't know.
Yeah, I bought a Scorpion while you were talking previously.
Nice.
That was unreleased. But I don't want to buy another £60 Cerritos. They're not that great. But Stuart, the gold TOS Connie's there if you want it for like 350 Canadian.
Jesus Christ.
And lots of Discovery. Do you want Discovery or a Bird of Prey, Stuart?
Negative. There is the lower decks Luna class though.
Yeah, but it's blue. Ugh.
I kind of like the cover of it, honestly.
I love they've got entirely.
Ooh. And the Alien Survival Manual Augmented book. Hey, I already have that one. Sylvia has that book. But we're talking about xenomorphs today, so that would be awesome.
I just love that they're so inconsistent with their pricing. They've got some that are like $8.99, some that are $14, some that are $17. The regular issues, so they know what's popular, and they just said, yeah. All the Picard stuff that people haven't bought. Funny. But yeah, I said that the junk doesn't make too much sense because they shouldn't have had power. If the shuttle never has lights on, it'd be fine. But the fact that it does, the Gorn absolutely detected them because they're searching for anything. They're not dumb.
Yep.
Like, doesn't work.
Ray Ricks, though, £2, says, I got the Cerritos at 9.
Excellent.
Okay. And Danny Janey throws in $20 and says, I get it. Sam, I'm never happier than when I'm nitpicking on Trek. Carry on.
I don't think it's a nitpick. I mean, we could. The jacket's a nitpick because that's like they just messed up costuming, right? That's just an error.
Yeah.
But all these are like bigger problems, which are fun because this is the sort of fun that we like.
I did love the zombie movie thing. Have you seen one? A zombie? No. A movie? Yes. I'll add it to my research.
Yes.
That line was nice.
What I find funny about this bit, Ortega's do something good because she gets some stuff in here. I like the fact that Pike's so out of practice he just can't handle a relatively basic maneuver, right? It's just...
Well, he's also not in control.
Yes.
It's like, hey, you're a driver. I love driving fast and aggressively if I need to. It's fun. But when somebody else is doing it and I'm not in control, it's fucking terrifying. So
yeah,
that's, I think, the situation here.
But what someone pointed out online, the difference between piloting as Connie and a shuttle, there's no similarity. It's like giving someone a 2-engine little piloting plane and a 747. The skills aren't transferable beyond... Well, no, they're not, because they don't have the same control interface.
Basics are, but yeah, the overwhelming
But you
amount of
can't
dials.
even math the engine. If you just know one, the engine ratio does not work to the other one, right? Because one's a 4-engine big power one, one's a 2 or a single engine. Like they're mathematically different. So it's great she's good at both, but you know. Although again, the war was so short. Why is she doing dead drops all the damn time? Anyway.
Sergeant Montgomery says, what would the good sign for Ortegas be? I'd say Mohawk. That would be her call sign. Tell me I'm wrong. Can't. All right. Anyway, back aboard the Enterprise, there are pockets of air still on the saucer section of the Cayuga, so there might be survivors. And Chapel's like, I hope she's fine too, Spocky. If anyone's alive, it'll be Chapel. No one else would have survived that. Oh, Jesus.
How do they work out there are people alive if they can't scan? How do they work out there's air if they can't scan?
Exactly, yeah.
Because if they can scan air pressure, that's called scanning.
Spectrometric analysis suggests are still pockets of oxygen.
So he's
they're doing some scanning. Yeah.
So he's scanning. It's just funny when they say stuff. And then a very odd edit of like, I bet she's fine. When the ship turns over, look. I guess right now, zoom in, look.
Sick bay's gone. There's no other place on the ship she could be. She must be dead.
Well, I mean, she lives in sick bay. I don't know her very well as number one. She's just some girl that's blonde. She dyes her hair totally like Boimler. She must be there. But I don't know why there isn't a close-up. I felt, again, budgeted problems. Like, seeing this moment on the view screen. Like, I'm watching this on TV. On a couch. I'm watching a long shot of the screen. They're watching on a tiny screen on a giant screen. There's no impact to...
Well,
the thing's gone when it's literally this big.
Yeah.
This
even later.
Like, it's this. I'm dead.
They know it's gone because they know where sickbay is on the Constitution class. That chunk is gone.
No, but for the audience, this moment has no impact.
I know. Far away. They should have done a zoom in, and later when Spock's approaching and you see like looks like a cutaway of the ship almost with the
Just
decks.
Use that shot.
Exactly, you can see like consoles and stuff on the decks. That's what I would have zoomed into that.
But I guess they thought nobody thinks she's dead.
Well,
she's not dead, so let's not bother. Let's not waste CGI budget. It's my assumption, right? Because
that's what I was thinking the whole time. It's like, I wonder if she's dead.
Like, it feels like a minor time waste to even bother. Anyway, But then cut to the planet. We see the thing. Lon is Miss Know-it-all. And then my dad said, in fact, the biggest problem he had here. Why have they got their flashlights on? They're stealthily going through a planet. Those lights can be seen from miles away. And they're moving.
Yeah, and later they're like, turn the lights off after they go into the building.
But they're about to fight Gorn, and they don't turn them off. But you can literally tell in one shot Pike's light is going past the crate and into the alley. Like, guys, you don't have the lights on if you're about to go into combat. It's useful if there's no combat, but like, Pike's not a tactical officer, but it does feel very stupid to watch them just walk through a street, shining everywhere, when Gorn are going to see that instantly. And he doesn't, but it feels really stupid in a way that is hard to express. Except I expressed it, it's really stupid. And also, the set doesn't feel great to me. It feels very basic, like a CW show. Like, well, we have the set, let's just put some fires on it, because we never see it.
Looks like Walking Dead.
Well, yeah,
this feels like Walking Dead.
Yeah, because we never have it. It feels novel, but it feels so like everyday standard TV show level of destruction, which is a lot, but like it doesn't feel very appropriate to. I don't know. It doesn't feel very special. I don't know why. And then, like I say, the lights, they don't bother turning them off. And the Gorn comes in. I mean, just some of these shots are so stupid. Rifles pointing a giant stream of light. It's just really ridiculous.
Yeah, but there's an incoming bogey by the size of it. Looks like a small youngling.
And they murder it.
And then Lon, yeah, murders it. The new phaser settings work. Yay!
Oh, actually, speaking of murdering, how many of you thought that when they had the scene talking about volunteers going down, that they all of them wanted to actively kill Gorn in a gruesome sounding, yeah, I want to kill Gorn, cameo of killing Gorn, I want to come kill Gorn. How Starfleet was that?
Well, that goes back to what Pike was saying to April. They're monsters. And April's like, no, I mean, monsters are only monsters because they're misunderstood. And Pike's like, maybe sometimes they're just monsters. So it's that human bias of, it's a monster. But I love how April was more level-headed about it.
Oh, he was great. Like, it's not surprising for Mbenga. He's literally he's literally a murderer.
Yeah. It almost makes sense that April knows more than he's letting on because talks with the Gorn. And he might understand more about them. And he can't say it right now.
It just felt really un-Star Trek to have them all be like, let's murder them. Yes, murder them. Yeah, I want to kill. I want to go kill too. Like, not help, just murder them. So it's really, really the vibe was weird. Really, really weird. No, Matthew, they're not bigots. They're wanting to murder them. Like, there's a difference. And these also children. They want to go down and kill children. Because
right now they're essentially xenomorphs. They're brainless, animalistic things that just attack. Because they're a spacefaring culture. They have to have technology. They have to have scientists. They have to have all these things. You don't think they're all warriors, do you? I love that. So, hold on. The dogs are barking for a minute. It'll stop.
Yeah. It's just hard to see. Like, you can understand it from a personal perspective, but this is Starfleet. They're the best. They beat thousands of people out to be in the Academy. They got through the Academy. They exceeded the Academy. And they also got onto the Enterprise, the flagship. These are the best officers in Starfleet, and they all want to murder and kill without any remorse or any kill. Matthew, Borg are people who at some point were lost personalities. It's slightly different. Yeah, it's just unnecessarily mean. Except from Mbenga, who's a dark killer. So.
But we've got dozens coming in now, so they bugger off to the barber shop and turn off the lights. All right, cool. And then we see them kind of working together and not attacking each other, which is mentioned.
And yeah, they have 4 rifles. They do turn the lights off in the barber shop. Good, as they should.
Hold on one second. I'll be right back.
Okay. And yeah, as they say, this is unusual. They're working together to, well, work out that a fallen Gorn has fallen. But again, La'an knows so little about them. For me, this didn't exactly read as, you're not the expert. You're the expert of this group, but, I like the fact that this is, in theory, days, weeks later, the Gorn have evolved, as in, like, in a life cycle, so, yeah. Yeah, designer guy, maybe they were. And then hard cut to a Pelia scene, which is very out of the blue. She's doing a thing. Her recruits her for a thing. It's a thing. Straightforward. Then we get a nice little scene where they're pausing. Pike is trying to comfort himself with some platitudes. Long gets some dialogue.
Sorry. I'm back.
And they detect a life sign in another room, which is very zombie Walking Dead-like. This is almost beat for beat a zombie film. And in fact, clearly they're linking into their aliens roots. They clearly hugely inspired. They even have a life signs tracker going blub, 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 like lit, not the exact same sound, but inspires the same emotion. And like clearly did a thing.
Did we skip this whole scene? Did we talk about the Pelia and who thing?
They're going to go fix a thing.
Okay.
I mean, it is as simple as that.
Sergeant Montgomery.
Oh.
Lieutenant for 32 months at the rank. Well, lieutenant for 32 months. The Gorn are on the Cayuga, which is not on the Gorn side of the DMZ. Ooh. They are in violation of their own mission statement. what was it accessing? Not necessarily. I mean, there could be drifting. If you looked at the line, you saw where the saucer was, but you also saw debris trailing into theirs, which looks like it was heading towards the planet. So it was probably drifted into their side, would be my guess.
But that is a great point. I don't think the writers thought of that.
No.
Which I actually think that's great. I don't think the Gorn truly respect this line. Why would they? That's fine. I'm fine with that. You know, they're a bit of a dick culture. So I really would love to know. That one scene was one of the best parts of the episode for me. Just the fact it was using a door, or using a comm panel. One of the best things.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I was trying to get Pike's nudes. You know, that the captain stored in her personal account. You know, bribe the admirals. You know, maybe Stuart. Yeah, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So where are we? Detecting a life sign?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Well, they find it. It's a little box, and then they get trapped. I thought, cool. The Gorn are smart. They're laying traps. No. That's not the case.
Yes. I mean, you can tell when it's a blue force field. You know it's a Starfleet one. But it was definitely a nice little twist. Although, did you notice and did you like Kirk using the tricorder the wrong way, which is the right way?
Noticed that right away.
That's nice.
I absolutely despise that.
But it's nice, isn't it? Like, they know they did that. That's obviously an internal reference.
At least it was flat and facing towards him. I hate how Spock has it with the things showing towards the camera with nothing on display.
Yeah.
In TOS. That just fucking irks me.
You can't see anything.
I know.
How is he reading a panel?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a trap. It was a lure. Although if it was a lure, where are the security teams with rifles waiting to take out the Gorn? The whole point is to trap the Gorn.
Good point.
Where's phase 2? They haven't got any weapons. But why are they... Because you would think that the Gorn could yell, grab more Gorn, and more Gorn would kill them around. You have to kill the Gorn as soon as they get into the trap. As if the writers didn't think about it, Stuart.
Yeah.
Yep.
Another thing they didn't think about is what Zizo said. The line makes no sense as the planet is revolving around the sun as well. The image is one moment in time. So yeah, the planet would for a few hours kind of coast through this thing, and then for the rest of the year be outside and not in the Gorn area.
That is
good point.
Brilliant, but also it doesn't matter in the sense that even if the Gorn killed the entire colony in either several days, a week, or several hours. Any of them are very effective. Once they birth the baby Gorn and take him back on the ship, they'll leave the planet, right? It doesn't matter. The planet was being annexed, the space is being annexed, the planet in that moment. Doesn't matter where the line was in a day, in 2 days, in 5 days, in 10 days. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They're not going to make it a colony. So, it doesn't actually matter.
Oliver Lavery Farag throws in £5. I got the feeling that the Gorn were trying to start a war. They seemed very prepared when the transport communication inhibitor went out. I don't think that's the case at all.
Yeah, please go into more detail. I don't know where you're going with that. If they're prepared, they wouldn't have let the battleship leave. They wouldn't have left a single cruiser, and then they wouldn't have, if they wanted to start a war...
That would have been a good way to end this cliffhanger, actually. Have the little ships sniping at the Enterprise, and then have the big battleship come from around the other side of the planet. And dun, 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 dun. It's like, oh, shit. Now we're really in trouble.
Or the Enterprise turns to leave, and then suddenly...
Yeah, you need the...
You need the... Glad they got you, Stuart. And then it cuts, because they're big ships, right? And that's it. It's just, that'd be the end. Because then they don't tell you the Gorn don't give a fuck about the line because they've come around the line. That would be the way of saying, oh, this is a bigger plan. Because in theory, all the Enterprise has to do is reverse. Because they're not in... Well, no, they've already broken the line because they're shooting through the line. Just... Okay, we're out of range! Yeah, why is there a threat? Why does water go backwards? What? What? Yeah, because as soon as they cross the line and start shooting, they've started a war. There's no proof the saucer went in and destroyed the thing on purpose. That's kind of the point, so...
And Michael Toto, yes, we agree. There's Chapel not checking survivors is absolutely not right. Yeah, we'll get to that. We've already kind of mentioned it, but yeah, it makes
We
no goddamn
have
sense.
thoughts. But yes, Scotty.
Yes, Scotty.
How many of you were surprised? Well, there may be. That's a new poll. I'll end this one with 114 votes. Is the Gorn plot a full-on retcon of TOS and therefore not 100% canon? Wow, interesting poll here. 44% joint firsts. Both yes, it's a retcon, so it's not 100% canon, so ignore it. Its own continuity, so ignore it. And 12% TOS should be ignored. Hey!
I like those numbers.
Yeah.
Eric Martin, member for 9 months at the rank of Captain. Captain Eric Martin, sir. Love Sam's sound effects. Made my phone shake.
Yes, the great koala has blessed me with my lungs. I can do a sound effects again, Stuart. My voice is strong through sound effects.
And here is Kalis. Yeah. Surprise, motherfucker. Oh, jeez. Josh Dworkin throws in $10. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really like Scotty's portrayal, but the thing is, he's supposed to be almost 10 years younger than Kirk, and yet here he is 6 years before becoming Enterprise Chief Engineer, and he's only a Lieutenant Junior grade. Yeah, there might be some disparity between his age and his rank here, but...
How old does he look, if you had to pigeonhole the actor?
How old does he look?
Yeah, without any information about him.
28.
I would have said 32. Like, right at the 39.
Yeah. So we'll average it out, say 30. That's
Yeah.
30.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll just do a bit of research on age for the character, see how old he's meant to be. What do you think of the Scotty? And in multiple rewatches, because, well, no, it wasn't a surprise to either of us.
Yeah.
But we didn't know the acting. What do you think on second watch of the Scotty?
He doesn't come across as Scotty to me. Just the accent's the only thing that does it. He's not. He doesn't have the like. I think he tried to do like the Scotty type of humor. It's less like Scotty each time I watch it, I think, which is weird. But there are moments that are very Scotty-like as well. So, yeah, it's a tough one. That's a tough one. But we find out he's not from the Cayuga at all. He was on the Stardiver, which was a research vessel that was exploring or studying a star nearby. Solar research vessel. So that's cool. Find out a little bit more about Scotty's past. Well, we got a new poll. Let's see. What did you think of the new Scotty? Loved him. Liked him. Is okay. All right. I did not like him. I can't do a Scottish accent. But there you go. His humor is more like Simon Pegg variant. Yeah, that's the thing. Simon Pegg was. I think Simon Pegg did a pretty good Scotty, but I think he was a little bit more edgy and trying to almost a characterization of Scotty's character a little bit. So to emulate that is an odd choice, but I like this shit. It's exciting. Yes. Everything okay? You look quite.
Well, I'm doing math and thoughts. So Scotty is 37 here.
Okay.
And he's Lieutenant Junior grade, so he goes to full Lieutenant, Lieutenant Commander, and Commander in 7 years, which is when his first TOS appearance is. That's a hell of a rank up.
Well, I mean, he thinks outside the box. That'll get you promotions.
Well, we talked about this previously, but I imagine that he gets Lieutenant after this event. That would make sense. And then he jumps straight from Lieutenant Junior, Commander Junior, Lieutenant Commander, into Commander he jumps that rank, as in he's Lieutenant Commander for a little bit, and then he's offered the posting of Chief Engineer, which needs you a Commander rank, so he kind of skips that stage
I think so.
quickly.
That would make sense.
So he's Lieutenant, like, next episode, ostensibly. Then that I could see. But Because 37 is not. I mean, 37 is quite old to be a lieutenant junior grade. Like almost 40. And you've only upped 1 rank since you were 22. So he was an ensign for.
No, it doesn't mean. It's not like the school system where you go in at a certain age to Starfleet. He could have joined at any time.
No, there's a specific date from joining.
Okay.
Sorry, we know his exact schedule, which I was also trying to work out. He started Starfleet in 2141, so he's been in Starfleet for 18 years. So it took him 18 years to get 1 rank. Yes.
Well, he had really low marks in engineering. One of my best students. So she probably saw a lot of potential in him, but he didn't apply himself, much like I heard all through my school career. And, yeah. Ray Ricks, though, 5 pounds. I can make sense if he was just doing research, then suddenly ends up on a ship of the line where rank means more. Could be, yeah. Could be he was happy just kind of doing,
Well, how much engineering are you doing on a solar ship? I assumed that was a temp posting he was just assigned to randomly. I mean, this is the thing. Ranks are very subjective. If you want to be a pilot, you don't want to be a captain, right? You're not going to keep upping the ranks to a commander because then your commander isn't piloting. You're going to stay at a rank to pilot the damn ship. There isn't a continued progressive thing. If you want to be a team leader, you aren't going to accept promotions necessarily.
Well, Zingo 76 makes a good point. Geordi rose to lieutenant commander pretty fast.
Yeah.
Between season 1 and so.
That's because they just wanted him to be the beggar. They locked themselves into a silly structure there. It's a little bit different. But also, this Harriman, my character in Trek Shorts, he's a grey-haired beard ensign. And people say, oh, he's too old to be an ensign. Yeah, because he was lieutenant and got demoted. He went up the ranks, got shoved back. You don't know that until you know the storyline, but he had the rank and went down again. So, whatever.
Citizen Tim Scott throws in $5. Maybe officers who aren't command track make ranks slower. Could be.
But if he's a prodigy engineer, you think he'd go up the ranks quickly. Like, I'm not complaining per se. Like it's okay. And you usually write a story he was promoted and then demoted for being too reckless or whatever.
Yeah. Well, Matthew makes a good point. How long was Mariner just an ensign? She didn't apply herself forever, right? If he didn't apply himself, he could be an ensign for a long time. That's absolutely true. Just the bare minimum to get by. You're happy where you are. There's no reason to get a promotion.
Yeah, but we vibe in the episode that he's really frickin' talented and asserts himself in all things. And also, Mariner was a full lieutenant. She also got demoted. So she was a lieutenant in DS9 and then got demoted. So she's same thing as Harriman. So she was an ensign for not very long at all. And then she stuck at an ensign by choice. But that's neither here nor there. But I liked him. I thought he was pretty good. He was nice to watch. Like, he gave a good vibe, positive vibe. You want our legendary heroes, there are only so many of them, to be respected. I didn't see any downsides in his character. He wasn't too silly, but he's not young. I mean, 37 is not young in any way. He comes across as late 20s, but he's not. He's late 30s. But yeah, smart, talented, overly smart, overly talented.
He was answered for so long because he lost Archer's Prize Beagle. That's transporter accidents.
Yeah. But I would have pegged him a full commander if I was writing the show. It's a small note, but that you could say a commander for lieutenant. You could say a lieutenant for a long time. It's that half step up that is a weird one step for a long time.
Well, he modified the engines of the shuttle to get away faster, and he also disguised himself in plain sight by making a Gorn transponder. There you go.
Yeah, real smart. I do quite like the lieutenant gag. Gosh, so many lieutenants. Because everyone's lieutenant. Except Mbenga, who he says Dr. Mbenga. He has got rank, though. But he says lieutenant. And as I said I know some people like that because he's UK-based. But the fact is he went to school at an academy in America where that vernacular will be said every day. So he's actively not saying the correct vernacular just because he wants to be native land. There's no, he would learn the way that his peers say it for the 3 years, and then all of the people who say it on his ship.
Yeah.
And what you're saying, all the aliens are picking, choosing. Do you want to say UK or American? No, they're saying it the way the Academy. The Academy's in America. That's what everyone says it at. So it stands out. I do not think that Scotty said lieutenant in TOS. Pretty sure he would say lieutenant.
Maybe that's why he doesn't get a promotion. I'm a lieutenant now? Oh, we already gave you the rank. Sure.
But it just sounds so silly when they both use the same word, but it just...
I know.
It's dumb. Yeah.
And Ray Ricks throws in 2 pounds. Tuvok is like 100 and only a lieutenant. Yeah, but he didn't join Starfleet till much later.
Well, no, he did. He joined Starfleet and then left for like 40 years.
Yes, exactly.
So he reset his career twice. So I know you have to know his, I know you have to know his history for that, but like, there's normally a reason for this stuff.
Anyway, are there survivors? Hell yeah, they are. And we run into Patel. And she's like, "Oh my God, you're here. Why? That wasn't the welcome I was expecting." And let's take a moment to appreciate Pike's curly hair. Because it's nice and curly here. Anyway, yeah, I didn't want you here. You were safe. Now you're not. Plus, now you're going to find out that I'm going to die soon.
But I won't tell you until you make me.
Yeah.
I have one odd note here, which just felt so awkward to me. Pike walks in, and there's this one officer. And he's like... He's the rescue party captain of the flagship. "Thank you for coming, sir. It's good to see you." The fuck is wrong with this guy? You're being rescued.
Shit, man. He's seen shit.
No, but it's the most ridiculous thing ever.
I know.
He's... Get a grip. Idiot. Like, no one seems to care. Except the moment of them too. It's a very oddly underwhelming scene. Like no, we won't get rescued. Here's a rescue party. They might be here to save us. No one seems to give a shit. It's just silence. It's weird, right?
Yeah. Then we hear Scotty saying, "We were stationed one system over, and there's a red supergiant, really spectacular specimen. Anyway, it started doing CMEs, which are coronal mass ejections, and that's what seemed to interest the Gorn and get them active. And so they showed up at this thing, took out the Star Diver. Scotty escaped and happened to crash on the planet they were headed to anyway. So anyway, they're like locusts, as Sam Kirk says. Environmental factors can cause certain impulses. So that's going to be important later, I'm sure.
Although they're definitely doubling down the animalistic thing. Because being affected by sun... And at what sort of range? Do they have to be in the solar system to see the sunspot? In which case it's an entirely pointless thing, because there's a lot of distance between suns. And if it's a radiation that's like 10 light years away, again, irrelevant, not enough suns do this. And 10 light years is super close. I guess a fluke, but they were so controlled in what they were doing. Like, they warped in. They dropped a thing that stopped scans. They laid eggs. The eggs fed. The eggs had to grow up. Where's the, "We must go feed now"? No, they just did their normal strategy. Where was the animalistic part of it? I didn't quite get the connection between what they said and what they did.
Don't know.
Yeah.
111 people here, 68 likes. Guys, hopefully you're enjoying the conversation. We are really coming up with some good stuff to talk about. You guys are participating in the chat. We really appreciate that. Super chats keep coming in, which is awesome. But hit that like button. I want to get to 100 likes. We're at 68. You can do it.
Oh, at least.
Hit that like button if you haven't.
I want to see 400 likes personally, but hey, that's just me.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, for Scotty, just go make 399 bonus YouTube accounts and click like.
And send us $1 super chat from each one.
That would be good too.
But anyway, they're like, "Can you make another transponder?" And he's like, "Not unless you have a Hubble K7C stellar assessment array that he can cannibalize." So basically, they decide they have to go to his shuttle and get that one. But
and it's a good way of, like I said in our review, taking God tech character, because it's like 7 of 9 the Doctor. They can do pretty much anything, except of huge. But there's this, and this, right? Seven has to regenerate or she'll die. EMH can't leave a sick bay, can't understand people. There's lots of things, right? There's big problems. This guy's a crazy good inventor, but he can't invent out of whole cloth. He's not MacGyver. He happened to work with very special equipment that allowed him to do something very specialist. So it isn't just anything into anything. It was very situational, which of course is like saying any film, wow, how did they survive? Because we're watching the one story where the one person tried the one thing and survived. This is the 1 out of a million case we're watching. Scotty is the happened of this, happened of that, fixed a thing, survived. How many other people tried to fight the Gorn and died and didn't achieve that? So it's a really good grounding moment for his character. It's like, I'm genius, but I still need the stuff, right? That's good, very good, I thought, for him.
Then we got a Ortigas and
she's here,
Mbenga
Stuart? She has lines?
Scene. Yeah.
Oh, good.
She talks about Nurse Chapel, and she kind of does an imitation of her, and but Chapel's imitation of me is better. She was on the Cayuga, that's not good news. No, it's not. Okay, moving on.
And it's odd, because, of course, there's no reason to think they survived. You know, like they kind of play it as a, she might be dead, she might be not dead, but I mean, at least you ask, because did they say she beamed up?
Yes.
The ship was blown to shreds.
They asked Patel. Yeah, they asked Patel where's Chapel. She beamed up. So yes, it was stated that she beamed up. 74 likes. We are climbing up there, guys. Come on, hit the like button. We only need 26 more likes. Anyway, back to the ship. We find out that there are 2 warp signatures approaching, or 2 more. Sorry, I can't make it any more red alert, Spock.
That's a stupid line, but it's a good line.
And then we get come to the briefing room.
Actually, wait, hold on. Look at this chart. Why is there a circle for Gorn sensor range, which does not even go to the other side of the moon? You're telling me that the Gorn hunter ship's range of scanners is 1 football field. It's an intergalactic space travel ship. Because you know how they can phone people apparently from across the galaxy? You have to be able to scan to get a signal, right? That's how that works, because you need to have a communication link, which involves scanning a
also,
satellite.
The circle would emanate, and the Gorn ship would be the center of it, not the planet, but hey.
And also, yeah, there's literally a Gorn ship out of Gorn sensor range. What does that mean? Oh, so stupid. Like, I guess it's the planet's sensor range of the thing in orbit, or the tower. But why the hell's that got a sensor range? Now, jamming range, fine, but that's not what it says. It says sensor range. Oh, I hate when they don't make sense. And also, why do they only... This happened the first time. Why do they only detect incoming warp signature when it's 5 seconds away? You can scan ships 30 light years away. Why is it 1 second away?
Because.
So dumb. Anyway, they can't see the thing because it's nighttime. Because it is nighttime on the set, which I thought was quite nice. So we can't see it, but we know it's there because of a thing we did.
Yeah. But we already know that the Gorn, they're like the Borg. They don't respond to space debris. Borg don't respond if you're wandering around their ship and you're not a threat. Space debris is not a threat. So if we aim a piece of space debris at this thing, we can blow it up. Well, naturally, I'm the only person that can do it because I'm Spock. What? That's just stupid. Why is he the only one that can do it? Why is he the only one qualified for it? That's never explained. Anyhow, that kind of bugged me a little bit too. Now, they were talking about calculations and stuff, and yeah, sure, I would buy that only Spock could do that, but he doesn't do anything special with the rockets, the retro rockets. He just pulls them out of the case and plunks them down. He doesn't do any kind of alignment. He doesn't use a special tool. He doesn't have a tricorder. And he puts one on the bridge, which is another... You don't put a thruster like that on the bridge. Anyway. What does he say exactly here? Placing these rockets is a near impossible task. No human can do this. I, however, can. Sure.
Sorry, Nim. What were you saying? Oh yeah, why don't they shoot the debris or tractor beam it? The Gorn would absolutely do any of those things. But they're dumb, remember? They're dumb. They're stupid. You can't think about them because they're stupid. Anyway, Pike's sleeping. And they're so safe they can all sleep because no one's watching guard. Like,
well, they got chairs against the door, so that's, you know.
Oh, didn't you find that hilarious when they go to the barbershop, they put a shitty wooden, like the lowest quality IKEA furniture against the door as if that'll do 1 second worth of anything.
It'll prevent one from looking through the open door and seeing any movement in there, because it's something in front of the door. Maybe the door was broken off its hinges. You don't even know.
It's normally it's to protect the people from coming in, and it wouldn't do that. But yes, Pike takes the stuff off. But the girlfriend's like, "Nope, I'm coming with you."
And Scotty's like, "I am too," because you had a super secret conversation right by my sleeping spot, and quite frankly, you need me. I'm terrified, but. I also owe it to the Stardiver crew to, you know, do this, so. Bravery and his technical prowess. Even gets a phaser. Ooh, fancy.
A Section 31 stealth phaser as well, so super secret. It's not very secret anymore. And, you know, credit to the writers here, of course, because, as is often said, in Stargate Atlantis, there's 2 characters. Well, there's more than 2, but there's 2 characters. There's Colonel John Shepard. He's a trained military officer. He runs into danger, guns blazing, and people call him brave. He is brave. But who's more brave is Ronnie McKay, who is scared of everything, who will still also run into danger, not so much guns blazing, but he'll run in and do his thing. He is afraid.
Canadian.
Eh?
Canada.
He is afraid and will run into the same situation. He is much braver than Shepard.
Yep.
So the fact that Scotty absolutely says and does it, lovely, good for him. Good. And Jill, we do like it. It's just there's a lot of tiny problems in it, which is fun.
Yeah.
A lot of just script issues, but this shot's beautiful in a dramatic way. The zoom in. This
great.
Is the one money shot of the entire episode, I think. This sells the vibe.
Well, this one and the one where you see the saucer turning with the neck and it's starting to burn up, and they're in the foreground. I think that's really nice too. But yeah, getting to see the consoles and the different rooms on this cutaway. We hear oxygen levels are critical. We see some bodies under things, and of course, Chapel survives. Doesn't bother checking anyone else. Even if she had a tricorder and she just flipped it open and was walking around with it, just like scanning bodies passively as she walked by. But no, we don't even get that. It's all about self-preservation, apparently.
But don't you love how her white jacket is a dirty grey?
Yeah.
That made me laugh. It's such an odd edit, this. Because they trash a corridor very successfully. There are bodies everywhere. But she's just under like one tiny bit of metal. You know what I mean? There's no particular reason that she got hit. There's no blunt force trauma. Like, she must have got hit in the head by debris, or she wouldn't be unconscious, right? Or so damaged hit her then concussion. Mm-hmm. Like, she's just unconscious. There is air, so she's not asphyxiated either, nor is there a fix. She's just unconscious. It has been in theory days since the attack.
Yeah, we don't know the time frame, by the way.
So the fact that she's here means it's probably only been like 2 or 3 hours. Plus, Pike going to the planet, getting to the surface, sleeping next to people, and then going back to the shuttle. This has been days. So this makes no sense at all. It's entirely structurally unsound. And if you try and push everything that's happened into one day, oh boy, and even still, 8 hours being knocked out for just, you know, and if you've been knocked out for 8 hours, how many of the people who are knocked out will also wake up in that time? Lots. How many trying to repair the ship? How many trying to do escape pods? How many trying to do, like, all these different things? Now, I love the idea that the Gorn beamed in and grabbed all the survivors and took them to the ship. Great. That's a great get out of jail free, right? But she's a life sign. Yeah. So they would detect her.
The Gorn wouldn't have done that because the saucer is on the wrong side of the line.
No, there's a Gorn in the... I mean, for scans?
For beaming people out. For going aboard the ship.
Yeah, but I'm sure they can go through their own jamming. Why would they
go through the jamming. That's not the problem. It's the line of the demarcation line. You don't cross it.
But the Gorn is in the ship, though.
What?
The Gorn is in the ship already.
I know.
Yeah,
I know,
so
but I'm just saying it wouldn't do that.
But they don't. But he is. And you can beam just over the line. It's just very strange. And I like that she can repair power in sickbay, I guess. No, it's not sickbay because we got blown up.
Yeah.
Where the hell is she? Because that's definitely the sickbay set. I feel that's definitely... Or maybe the transporter? No, what is this set? I don't even know. I have no idea.
The one she's in a minute is just the quarters. So
you think? Oh, you're right. It's the quarters. Okay. The quarters with a happenstance EV suit outside of them. What sort of quarters have that?
Well, she sees the Enterprise though when it's close.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, because And she never even tries to scan the ship for life signs. You precious little life signs.
I do like that she tries Morse code though, because they were talking really about looking for flashes of lights or fires or anything that kind of. But then, of course, the flashlight fails. But we know that there's corridors, there's special slots in the walls that have flashlights, because we saw Pike grab one a few episodes ago, and that's actually labeled flashlights. But it's pretty good.
Yeah, conceptually it's fine, although the fact the flashlight gives up says, why do you need this scene? You know, there's time you could use for other moments that are more meaningful. But the CG of Spock going over looks wonderful. I'm thoroughly confused how more than one device fits in this crate, given the size of the device and the shot we see later. He clearly pulls one out, and there's enough space for one.
Yep.
I mean, it's in the middle. And there's foam, and there's one.
He wasn't trailing two of them behind him. He wasn't trailing a thicker case.
Couldn't beam them in. Don't understand this prop. Shot's great, though. Yeah, because clearly, I mean, you can see one fits in this. Like, no, I'm wrong. I can see two. If you brighten it, you can see two. Actually, you can see three. Actually, they're staggered.
If you brighten it,
boy, proven wrong by brightening it. Yeah, you can see three. It's because it's because the case, the doors open like this. Yeah. So it's an optical illusion of how big the case is.
They're triangular. There are two on the bottom, one on top of them. Like
yeah, it's the way it's. Okay, there we go. Ha ha. Because the case looks smaller until he opens it. Or no, God, that's an optical illusion. There you go. There's three. Three is enough. Portable thruster units, and three can move a saucer. Jesus.
Yeah, I'd buy that. That's fine. But I don't buy is the next scene.
Micro adjustments needed to fly.
What I don't buy is the next scene. I'm just going to talk over you because yes, it's fine. Where he drifts by a window, the exact window that she's at. What are the odds of this happening? He puts one on top, puts one on the bottom of the saucer, and then decides to put the third one in the bridge because that's a good idea. What? Yeah, the placement of the last one doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, well. Yeah.
But human nature, she tries to get his attention. You know, seeing the hand maybe flash on because sound doesn't travel in space, so yelling Spock's pointless. But that's human nature, and that's fine. At least she knows that he's there. So,
sorry for in the chat.
Rockets, yeah.
But it's nice.
You only
CG.
have to nudge it enough. Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, and again, she doesn't even. There's no lip service when she grabs the EV suit of like, where's the rest of the crew? There's so many moments to put something in here to feel right, you know? Like, she could have gone to a panel. All she did was go to that panel, right? Tap, 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 and she says, go out to the ship, and every other area of the ship is red. Her one room is blue, right? No air. All you have to do, right? That would be it. I guess it's implied that she got only her section going, so everyone else has died asphyxiation now. But I would think if I was her, I would try and air back as much of the ship as possible, like to those that still have pockets of air, because all the hull breaches are solid, right? Like there's no air loss because the bulkheads are down, so the bits that have airflow still should have more airflow because their people are going to be there. They don't care. It doesn't matter. Anyway, here's a wrecked shuttle. It's actually very wrecked. Looks great.
Find the device. You asked for Pike's help to get it off, but we got a little Gorn guy show up, and it's very quickly turned away because Patel steps in the way, and right away I'm like, oh shit, she's infected. Again, so zombie-like, it's not even funny. And Pike doesn't. Well, maybe he does clue in right away. He just doesn't want to believe it. But oh, sorry, it doesn't all happen right away. This is where the Gorn shows up. Next scene is on the Enterprise again. Yes. Right on the Cayuga again.
Yes. Sorry. But yeah, very, odd he just appears, show attack straight away, odd that... I mean, I like the fact that he at least paid lip service to the fact that Pike hasn't got his phaser, his leg mantle, although his rifle's right there, right? And I know they're trying so hard to make the puppet work, but they always make these really macro shots at like, that's a puppet! Abstract puppet shot. Because they're so quick, they can't sell them enough. Like, I'd rather just embrace the jank. Personally. But yes, arrives. And then my favourite scenes, as I said previously. There's somebody. Somebody's doing a thing. And my god, I got so many flashbacks to Aliens 4. Where Winona Ryder takes a little spray and goes, tss, not recognised, tss, not recognised. It just keeps going. Yeah. It's like, recognised. That, I was hearing that, because it's an alien movie, right? So I'm seeing aliens. Yeah. It's like, oh my god! It's a
I love how she's... Yeah, I love how Chapel's like, Spock? She doesn't yell, Spock! I'm glad she didn't yell. But, anyway, yeah, please input command code kept failing. And then we see a Gorn in a spacesuit, which looks epic, by the way.
Now, the ship is on its correct axis. Why is he on the ceiling, tapping a ceiling panel? Why is there a panel on the ceiling that's saying he can't go in it?
Looks airlock size. Maybe he's trying to get out.
Just blow a hole in the room.
That's a good question, though.
Because it's cool, right? Ceiling, but why is there a panel on the ceiling that is tapping? Because I thought, I thought, and I'm still looking at it, I thought that was meant to be a Jeffries tube, right? Because it's kind of a small hole with a... But there wouldn't be an access code for a Jeffries tube. They're kind of meant to be open.
But when you go to the next shot of the close-up of his face, when you see inside it does look like a Jeffries tube. With a spark plug wire. The red attachment for the spark plug. Nice.
So I'm not sure what he's doing exactly. I mean, I don't think they know either. But, to my... amazement, that is a guy in a suit.
Yeah, that surprised me too.
Because it's so janky and it's so shot in such a sporadic way that it could just be like the CG in Season 1. They just don't want to show it for very long. Until you freeze frame it and force the audience to watch it. No, it's a guy in a suit. Which we'll look at another day. Good job, guys. That grounds it strongly, heavily. And yes, spacesuit. They can think. They can do things. Now... This is a debate that I've heard lots of recently with this episode. and you mentioned it vaguely as well, but I want to hear your thoughts now. The tail. Somebody threw out, what's the point if they're in a spacesuit and their tail is out of the suit? Why isn't their tail freezing? Thoughts?
It's not out of the suit. It's surrounding their tail. It's a suit.
Yep.
And I like your idea that he's actually bipedal, doesn't have a tail. So the tails weren't cropped on the arena Gorn. That's actually part of their spacesuit. It's either, it's a weapon, essentially. Like a xenomorph tail. You can use it to strike.
Yeah, I thought that was... Because it didn't even occur to me that they had no tails. Because I stared at a show with tails, but they've never had tails in their form. So yeah, but what is more interesting as a weapon than a giant... It's basically like a giant whip, isn't it? A giant thing. They had tails when they were young. They were useful. Now they're spacesuits with tails. Really fun idea. And, as you had said in our review, the idea of putting the abstract connective points of a tail inside of a tail spacesuit is just mind-bogglingly intricate. If it's just a robot tail, it's just robot pieces. Done. Like Doc Ock. Beautiful.
Yeah, they could lose their tail or get a smaller, or it shortens up when they get older, and they just have this as like it's just their weapons design for their suits.
Yeah.
Which makes sense for reptilian species,
Yeah, it's a good get out of jail free. And it allows you to, when we see them in season 3 without spacesuits, not of a tail, and maybe even like their pointed hands are again extensions of their we're aggressive. If you remove the exosuit, they are more not cuddly looking, but more simple looking, because that's not their battle spacesuit. It's just them being themselves, and then you suddenly ground them more to TOS. So they kind of get their cake and eat it too. This very animalistic silhouette, but then when they're in the alien form, they're just a giant crocodile with 2 legs, right?
Yeah.
Could be the plan. But I like the scene a lot. This is a really good scene.
And a lot of people last night were referring to the armor, the video game armor you were talking about as well.
It looks like Sangheili from Halo. It's really close. So close. Like 95% the same.
Damn.
I'll be showing you in our follow-up. Like I'll pick one of the armors that's the right color. Yeah.
But anyway, back to the shuttle, and this is the encounter. Patel steps in the way, and the thing like 3 like, and
not even subtle.
Backs off, and
not even subtle.
Yeah, and you thought she might be pregnant, right? You had mentioned that, and I just assumed she was infected when I first saw it. But yeah, great scene. It runs away, and Pike's like, "You're telling me that thing chose not to attack? What's going on?" Anyway, good scene, but again, very zombie movie-esque. You're infected, so it's not going to attack you.
So for me, very very abrupt scene. I don't know why he couldn't still attack the other people. I mean, he still could, right? There's plenty of Gorn children on this planet. What I thought, and you guys tell me in the chat if you agree or not, I thought the twist was going to be she's pregnant. Because then you add something to the lore of baby Gorn won't attack young things, which is an interesting, biological imperative, although obviously they've, in theory, killed the children in the colony, but we don't know that yet. Anyway, so she's pregnant, and then you would know that Pike's the dad, so it wouldn't attack Pike because Pike has shared DNA, and then he's Scottish, so he can't attack Scottish DNA, or he's too drunk, so he can't do drunk DNA. And I just thought that'd be such, because the audience does this vibe that she was going to die, and she still might. But so to reverse that to not only she's not dying, but she's pregnant, which creates a giant plot thing for Pike in season 3 and 4, 5, whatever. I thought that was really, really interesting. Wasn't that? With the idea, the simple idea. What do you think, Stuart? Would you prefer my idea, or do you think this is the best one?
I think this is the best one. That makes them a little bit too... humanizes them a little bit, makes them a little bit more relatable if she was pregnant and they didn't want to attack.
Don't we want that, though? Because they're not just feral animals, they're Gorn. They sell kebabs in 200 years.
They do. Nah, I don't know. don't know.
I
I mean, it would have been cool because then Pike could have possibly been a father. She loses the baby. It just adds to his tragedy, the tragedy of Pike, right?
Yeah.
So
I just think it's a mic drop twist that you won't be expecting as an audience member, and that explains why she's cute, but also doesn't want to tell him because things and problems. But yes, she's infected with Gorn, baby, and she will die in the next less than a day. It's that soon. She's already been infected. No, it doesn't tell us how long the situation's been because she could have been infected at any point in the battle with the Gorn, so there is no way of saying it was yesterday they attacked because it could be any time, right? Hard to say. And I like Scotty. I'm going to fix this thing with a thing. Oh wait, I already fixed the thing with a thing previously. Damn it! Too much fixing.
Quadrucoupler.
Oh yes, then Spock puts a thruster on a bridge which has two holes, one thin slit which only points in one direction, and then a hole at the top. But you know why it's in the bridge, Jet? Because they want to fight the Gorn on a set that's big enough to have a set piece.
Yep.
That isn't LED walls. I guess it was used for Discovery Season 5 because it's all real sets. And I was surprised because they actually did trash the bridge. Because to me, it felt very green screen. Just how the lighting was, very colour graded. No, they actually they removed all the set pieces, they added new pieces. Yeah, this thing is a trashed real set, which looks great. So it's a real set, with a real spacesuit, and a real Gorn on set. It doesn't feel real, but there's way more real here than you think.
Yeah. But we get a scene straight out of Alien with It's Behind Me, Is It In?
And that was a real stunt the guy did.
Again.
I don't think the tail's real, but the stunt's real.
Yeah. Again, why is the Gorn on the ceiling? They just like ceilings? Do they hang out on the ceilings of their ships?
Well, they hang out mostly on ceilings. Mostly. What's funny, though, is that we see in a minute, the ceiling is just a hole. So, there isn't a ceiling. It's on the rim of the... it was watching the entire time, or it scrambled in right at the end. There's no reason here.
Look at the door behind Spock that's open to space. Why are there 3 nacelles floating in space? They look like Discovery nacelles. I know it's debris, but those are clearly nacelles.
And also, isn't this... I love the red alert light is still working at the door that's trashed. That's funny. I didn't know that would open to space. That's kind of fun. How does that make sense? The rooms, there shouldn't be rooms anyway, and then because these rooms, as we see later, the dome is the bridge because they go out of the dome, but there is no rooms attached to the dome,
as there shouldn't be.
Yeah. Because
but
they didn't want to do the dome with a third, because that's not that would be really weird to have to show the episode where there's now a 5-foot space above. They have to go through the 5-foot space. This is the edge of the ship. We've seen it. So there is no. Oh my god, this is good to look at. That's great. Oh.
Well, Ray Ricks throws in £5.
Thank you.
I wonder if, like xenomorphs, the Gorn take DNA from hosts. The eggs are implanted in, hence more upright humanoid Gorn in later generations. Okay, that's interesting. So they take on the traits of the DNA of the creature that they lay their eggs in.
I felt that the xenomorph creator would have problems because then it's almost identically like a copyrighted alien creature.
Yeah.
It's got the tail, it's got the basic body. But besides that, makes the Gorn a mimetic evolving. They evolve through their cannibalization of societies.
Yeah.
That means you can have thousands of variations of Gorn. There is no Gorn and then that's a huge precedent.
Yeah.
But no, it's a good slow fight. Also, doubly fun because of course, real stunt guy, wires. I mean, it's impressive. And also the fact that this epic action sequence is slow and methodical. It's not often you have a slow-mo fight.
Well, the weightlessness made it, it's more lumbering. So.
Yeah, but it works.
I love the missing captain's chair too.
Yeah.
There's the base with the wires.
It's a really trash bridge. It's a really good job. And I mean, I wish they showed a few more. I know it's meant to be quick cuts, and obviously I love that we can freeze frame. I wish they've had a few more, like, let them linger on the suit. Because it's an impressive piece of prop engineering. And the head is a good piece of head engineering. But I mean, also you could argue they're waiting for season 3. You know, it's an evolving piece of media. And then, yeah, it puts his hands on Spock and...
It also uses the tail to whip him across the bridge, so more proof that that's a tool and or weapon, and could possibly part of the suit, and not necessarily... Because if you... To the tail, to have the spikes, the individual spikes, it would have to be very close fitting to a tail. I like that it's a weapon. It's part of the suit. So...
Yeah, it allows you to kind of invent your own silly canon, and then... boom. Everything else, etc. Yeah. But look,
that's a facehugger scene right there.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Imagine a facehugger.
But look how long those claws are. They can't possibly be the real size of claws, because those are giant fingers. My goodness.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very impressive looking suit. I love this scene. Chapel manages to wrangle the phaser that Spock lost in a scene that makes no sense. The phaser's like floating. It's just the way she grabs it. It's really weird, but that's okay. And turns and fires. To which Spock uses a spike from the looks like part of the railing to crack the helmet. Poor Gorn, just doing his job. He's just a scientist, the lieutenant, you know. And now he's dead. It's a bit of a shame. Guys, 93 likes. We're 7 likes away from 100. Hit that like button if you're one of the 7 that hasn't done so already. Don't forget to vote in the poll. Although we have 120 votes, so I don't know how many more we're going to get on that one. But hit the like button and keep super chatting in. We appreciate it. It all helps us out. And we want to hear what you guys think about this. So
I do have to pop out in a second, but did you think it was odd that they make a whole giant point that these guns can't affect Gorn, yet a standard phaser can make a dent in the spacesuit version?
I don't think it made a dent. It just got his attention.
Okay.
Yeah.
But luckily, blunt force trauma. I mean, that is... You picture Len Nimoy staring at the Gorn on the view screen. It's like, I once stabbed a Gorn in the face on a Connie saucer bridge that had doorways to nowhere.
Well, that's the turbo lift door, so.
Oh. But it's a cool ending, and very graphic how it lingers and they watch it just suffocate to death. It's legitimately graphic in the most like PG way, but lets you kind of appreciate the design, and it's pretty graphic. All right, pop out, but I'm back in a minute, guys. I want to see at least another 3 super chats, at least 3. There's a challenge. See you in a minute.
Do it, guys. And 5 more likes. Let's go. 5 more likes. We can do that. I'm going to end this poll now, though, because 121 votes. What do you think of the new Scotty? The consensus is liked him at 43%. Loved him at 36%. Okay at 18%. And didn't like him 2%. So let's end this poll. Five likes away from 100, guys. We can do it. 5 of you out there have not hit that like button. Now is your chance to do it. Not only is it your chance, but it's your time. Your time is now. I'm giving you an order. Hit that like button. You don't respect math. Oh, okay. It's fine. But yeah, we are coming close to the end anyway. So thank you for everybody that's joined us for this time. 98 likes. Come on. We're getting there. I don't want to move on to the next scene. Because I guess I can. This is where Pike's like, trust me with the truth. tell me what's going on. And she's like, oh, look, I got infected. And, it usually takes a day and a half for the eggs to mature. And it happened yesterday. So she doesn't have a lot of time. Yay, that's it. Then we cut back to the Cayuga. Kirk Novak throws in £2. Scotty is my favorite pre-TNG era character, so I'm happy. That's awesome. Heard that one. Good episode with a lot of problems. Yeah, that sums it up. Oliver Lavery Farag throws in £10. Thank you so much, sir. On a quick side note, I am still recovering from Vegas, but I got to meet John Eves and show him my ship design based on his sovereign concept. It was a very surreal to meet the man whose work I saw. Yeah, and John is a great guy. I'm sure you probably noticed that. Very friendly, very nice. He's fantastic. You should have mentioned that you're a Trekyards fan, because I was hanging out with him in Wonderfest, and yeah, he's great. He's a good guy. And then Oliver goes on to say, well, he's been a lieutenant for 14 months, so thank you, Oliver. Much appreciated. Growing on me. Oh, to meet the man whose work I saw growing up on the big screen, and see that he is still excited to discuss ship design all these years later. So I'm still pretty pumped. Indeed. Yeah, he is great. And I don't know if you got to meet his wife or his daughter. They were with him at Wonderfest, and they're fantastic as well. Just very nice people in general. So glad you had a good time in Vegas. Wish I could have made it this year. I think the plan is definitely planning to go next year. So I would love to see some of you guys there if you do go. So maybe the Gorn'a like locusts and have entered a voracious phase and are normally nothing like this. Perhaps. Yep. Jill47 throws in $2 with a little lizard. She likes her little baby Gorns. Like that's a little fetus Gorn. Her little Geico. She saved 15% on car insurance or Starship insurance with Geico. And 15% was $2.
Okay, all is well. All is
Oh,
well.
yay, good.
Yes. Hello. Did we get 5 super chats? No.
We got 3.
Did we?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got exactly 3.
Cool.
So there you go. You need to go away more often. You know what? I'm going to go away for a minute. I want 2 more super chats. Just 2. I'm only asking for 2. I'll be right back.
What a game we play here. Having fun. We're having fun here, guys. I'm interested. I mean, season 3. You know, they've done a thing here. We're interested to see how they modify things for season. Oh, we ended that before we left. Yes, like as well. I'd love to see more likes. 102 likes. I'd love to see even more. Matthew, yes. Oh, there we go. Oh, it didn't cut. Trek or not? So, Destination Star Trek. We're maybe going to go as an official thing, but it's a bit too much of a... I'm doing a thing, a secret project. So I might go for a day, depending on timings.
All right. We got 1. Kirk Novak with £1 and a unicorn. Oh, no. I wasn't away long enough.
Yes.
All right. So...
yeah, I mean, obviously the scene, the reveal, it's quite dramatic.
Yep.
And then this scene is way better than the trailer implied. Again, a lot of the stuff in the trailer felt vapid in the trailer. This is a really good moment, the way it's played. Yes. There are no risk. It's purely a CGI elegant fest of, oh no, Bones, what did I do? Like, that level of like, oh god. And super interesting for scale, of course, because you can't fudge with scale if you're literally seeing them. We'll have to analyze this. What?
No, nothing. I was just waiting to say something. You kept trying to jump in, and you kept talking.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Spock and Chapel reunited again. That's all I want to say.
Yes. Do you care?
No, I really don't.
I sort of care. And you can see the bridge is trashed on the one side. So that is where the door was going to be, underneath the dome. Which tells you that the bridge is not in the dome, it's below the dome, even though they're going through the dome. And I will say, for as little as you see them, good CG doubles. Better than last time. And
yes.
Yeah, them holding hands is a really good little moment. It's, not something you often see, and you can imagine pitching it. We have two spacesuit people holding hands as a Connie burns in a... Okay, it's quite a bold pitch. I like it, it's good. And it's sad, but it's good.
Instead of a sunset, it's a Connie set that they're watching.
Yeah. And then, why don't you tell me? We can, Hemma made a choice. We'll find a way. She says, oh, I'll take the shuttle. I'll fly into the thing. You can get off. Makes sense. And then the most awkward edit. Look, Captain, a thing. The thing and the thing that's only like half a mile away.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it crashes. And the fireball. I mean, you've done a good job with the edit. Like you see that there's a close of Pike, and the light overtakes him.
Yep.
He's dead.
He's dead.
Like that's how the edit is. It's really weird.
But then when you see everything fire back up on the Enterprise, they're getting scannings and readings from the planet. The field is gone.
And we
transporters and comms back. Yep. And then it's like two to beam aboard. Chapel's back. Yeah, because that's the only survivor. They don't say it, but it's implied by the look that they're giving each other that, oh, she's not dead. Yay. It's like, what are they? Yeah, just dumb.
What's WWDITS?
What would... I don't know.
What we do in the shadows.
Oh. It's a vampire comedy.
Oh. Cool. And they beam the guys up, still holding hands, cute, and instantly put to work. And the moment is very small, but I like it.
Yes. We'll talk later, essentially. We need you in sick bay. Spock, get to the bridge. Yeah.
And then you get an interesting moment when, of course, the first reaction as the audience is, oh, they used the wrong transporter effect. They made it through
I thought. Or the lighting in the room made it look different.
Because the sound's almost identical. That was the biggest problem, because they want to have their cake and eat it. They want to not it be obvious to the audience, but it can't be the one that we know light up too obvious. So it's green, Gorn, but he's using their sound, which it wouldn't use. And it is a good little... The second time it feels worse, because it edits in like it's nothing. Mm-hmm. Although, boy, that's hundreds of survivors, Stuart. As you said, Pike said earlier. That's like 30 people.
That's just one of the rooms.
Okay. Although, how are they beaming that many people to all the Enterprise? So I thought that, like, the transporters, they couldn't do it all in one go. There wasn't enough pads.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't seem to know. Nor do they even call the Enterprise. I know that they're being beamed before they... But, like, there's not even this trick of, like, to Enterprise beam and stuff. They're beamed. By the Gorn. Twist! And I love
the beam in... Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, I love the edit from green to green. That's a great brain trick moment. That's great. It's not...
Yeah.
It's smart. Good job.
They just three of them show up in sickbay, and it's like, Chapel, you're alive! Yay! We got a problem. We got to, get her in stasis. And she says to Chapel, "If there's a sign you can't stop this, take me out." And Pike's like, "Not giving up on her." And Chapel's like, "Neither am I."
Now, why was Pike so happy that she was alive? Has there ever been any scenes where he's like really best friends with her?
Just a member of his crew that was on another ship at the time.
So he wouldn't do that for everybody. Like it just seemed like daughter vibes, or like my best, like 9 out of 10. Like his eyes were so impassioned with emotion.
Mm-hmm.
That it's like that super level of friend. I'm like, they don't have that kind of relationship. They're friends, but really it was like good acting. Of like, okay, wow, powerful.
Mm-hmm. And then Scotty meets Pelia. Well, you know each other. Hello, Scotty. One of my best students who sadly received some of my worst grades. And then, what the hell is this thing? That was great. Good Scotty moment here for sure.
Yeah, I forgot Pelly existed between scenes, and then she pulls up like, oh my god, yeah, two chief engineers. I mean, it makes sense she'd teach everybody, right? She's been there for 30 years. She'd teach every single person. Yeah. And as a dynamic, that's really fun. But clearly, she gives grades not based on merit. Because number one, she gave a bad grade to despite good merit. He's clear genius, bad grades. So she's very specific on the grading format. It does not represent the officer quality.
Yeah.
So that'll already be a fun dynamic. Weird as all hell, but fun. And I'll pigeonhole myself now. I'll say she's chief still for season 3. He becomes lieutenant and part of her crew. They become a double act. We get a lot more engineering because now you've got a character set there. And then as she leaves, she'll recommend him in seasons 5 maybe, and he'll be chief. That's my guess.
And Jill was calling out that she thinks Pelly is out of her league here and is eventually going to show up on the Starfleet Academy show, which makes sense. She can live 900 years. Could you imagine if she is in Starfleet Academy show? That would be awesome, assuming that show becomes to fruition. So I like that idea. I like that thinking, Jill. But anyway, yes, we've got the briefing that the Gorn destroyer has arrived. So we're 4 against 1. And there's more Gorn en route, which are going to be there in about 30 minutes. So.
Okay. Oh, and also people are calling out the reference to Scotty holding the things like the tribbles.
Ah, yes. I never even thought about
almost verbatim, which I thought was nice. He just likes to hold things in a brash way. But yes, already too many Gorn to fight. Pike is in action mode. Beam people up. What people? All the people. There are no people. Check again.
There's nobody there.
I'm Spock. I did check. Check again.
Yeah.
Still no people. Well, shit.
Transporter signatures though, non-Federation.
And that's a good escalation. I'll give him credit. You know, although if they're going to do that properly, Saga Atlantis did it when they stole some people and they had to build Wraith sets for the next season. They use them a lot because they built the sets. If they end up building Gorn sets, which look really not like some stupid feral nest, like proper spaceship sets, and proper Gorn walking, like they are spacefaring, and we have people who are trapped, that could be really fun, and then that would justify them being in it more, because you wouldn't build those sets without a lot more use.
Donna makes a good point about Pike being happy to see Chapel. I think he was happy that she was there to help Patel. Yeah, because she's had experience with the Gorn, and his chief medical officer is not on board yet. So yeah, got an expert that can take care of my girlfriend.
I love that.
Yeah.
If that was in his mind, it's just all layered in together. But I love that.
Yeah,
very nice.
That's great. Get some great shots of the Gorn.
You're right. That's
shooting the Enterprise
across the line.
Yes.
So it is now officially a war. Because they even zoom near the end. Yeah, they go past it. So they've officially declared war on the Federation.
Yeah. Yep.
Because the Enterprise did not have to get closer to beam anybody out. Their range would absolutely work from the moon to mid-orbit. They've been way further than that before. So they've now officially declared war. Well, I guess in theory they wanted to kill them and not declare war, because if they kill them, there is no war, because they've killed them. You know, oh no, the Enterprise was in our line.
Just drag all that debris over here.
Yeah. Oh look, it crashed into the same planet. I do like the zoom into the bridge. That's a cool shot.
Yeah.
And then you get that real sense when the force field goes up for Patel. We're leaving the cliffhanger marks. This is the end of that bit. This is the end of that bit. Like, it feels very distinct, which is, as it should, right? Some of the best cliffhanger episodes are, everybody's screwed. Like the Atlantis season finale, every character gets a "we're screwed" moment. It's great.
You see Scotty and Patel running through the hallway. Let's do their thing.
Yep.
And then we're back on the bridge. Priority message.
Although, why, with their shields up, is debris flying everywhere? Like, they are being massively damaged.
Almost, yeah.
Like, this isn't just, like, the next shot is a fireball, sparks, and a... Like, that's, like, shields are down level of damage. The shields are designed to stop massive impacts. That's the entire point.
Transporters, shields, weapons, they're all at the writer's discretion for story elements.
It just really makes the end seem stupid, because it's them ramping it up. But if they're that damaged, they are so screwed it's ridiculous, and they never even make lip service to, shields down to 3%, one more hit will take us out, and then they cut. Like, this is not the sort of damage you have at nothing. You know, there's a reason in TNG is like, shields down to 80%, 50%, shields are down, Worf got killed and Riker got stabbed in the face. Yeah, shields, no shields, there's the difference, right?
Yeah. Yep, Gorn'a says, I thought they would put Patel on ice to keep the eggs from hatching until they could figure it out. They did. They put her in stasis.
Yeah, that's the assumption of that scene.
Priority message from Starfleet, though. Admiral April is ordering our immediate withdrawal.
Good.
And her's like, sir, do I respond? But the Gorn have our people. And then we get this moment of like hesitation from Pike. It's like, orders, Captain? Orders? And he turns back to the view screen and dun dun dun, to be continued.
And it's a long moment of indecision for him.
Way long.
It's really long. It's sort of moment I think you alluded to earlier where he could say one last order, and that's the cliffhanger moment. It's that level of pause. The fact that he doesn't is what's unsatisfying, because you know, battle stations or warp us away, or there's some other element that could happen to kind of ramp up the stakes.
Or even just saying, like, have that moment of look of like loss on his face, and then it steals up and he turns around and says number 1, and then it's like to be continued. It's like, oh, there's something coming. There's an order coming. Something like that would have worked as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's a cool shot, you know, the battle behind him, but also the way they remove the sound effects of the impacts and all the battle stuff also makes the battle just seemed like a 9 out of 10 impact down to like a 1. Tonally in shifts, even though in theory they're more and more damaged every second. They're not shooting back. They're, you know, this is terrible.
I love the action. You see the Gorn ships like whipping around, and they got like little targeting reticules around them. Like, it's very cool. But...
And they're also shooting the bridge. I mean, you can see them actually shooting like them. They're shooting that giant open window, those Gorn, because otherwise you wouldn't see, like, that's the shield, that's the bridge dome bubble part. You wouldn't see this. You don't see. You see no other part of the hull in the view screen. They're attacking the bridge dome, which, in fairness, kill the bridge dome, kill the ship, right? Like, that's, you know, if you kill the entire bridge crew, at least whatever. But yeah, it ends on a non-note.
Yeah,
it's kind of odd.
Which was dissatisfying, to say the least. At least in Best of Both Worlds, we got fire. Like, he's going to take out his best friend and captain. Not his best friend, but his like friend and captain with this fire of this weapon, which just fizzles out in like 10 seconds in the next episode. He didn't do anything. Yeah. All right. That is the episode, guys. It is your turn. We want to hear you guys super chat in with your scores out of 10 for the season finale. Now, you might want to do a score for the episode as well as for a finale. So 2 different scores out of 10. We will give our final thoughts and scores as well. I will read all the Super Chat scores when we're done. Sam will read all the non-Super Chat scores if you just want to put in the regular chat section. But, yeah, we're looking forward to hearing what you guys think about this. So, by all means, now's your turn. Let's go.
And throw in a 5. 10 5s and we're golden, you know? Just put in your thoughts, right? This is the end of the road. I'm going to do one more poll. I have a good idea. How did it factor into your expectations the build-up, into the Gorn build-up. You know, let us know your thoughts as much as possible in the chat. We'd love to know.
Yeah. All right, so we got another pool on our way, but if you have not hit like yet, give us a like. We appreciate that. We have 109 of them right now, which is awesome, but I'd like to get to 120 if possible. So hit, you know, if you're one of the 11 people that hasn't hit like yet, hit like. Or like Sam said, super chat in, like a $5 super chat would be appreciated. A couple of them just with your scores. And the poll is up. Go vote on that as well. Which season did you enjoy more? Season 1, Season 2, or both equally? Now is your chance. Let us know. All right. This is where he asked me the question, what did I think on rewatches, and has it changed my opinion?
So, Stuart,
yeah.
What did you think of Season 2, Episode 10 on our full breakdown? 2 hours and 40 minutes, discussion theorization. Fair to say, many tiny plot problem finding, which we did blow past in our main review. How do you feel now, and where are you going to score it?
I feel it's a very good episode, but it's got a lot of technical problems, especially for people that really like that kind of thing, kind of like the people that are here in this chat right now. Overall, very enjoyable. Definitely toes the line for Stranger Worlds quality. I don't think it was season ending worthy, honestly. Let's be honest. But it's definitely a good episode. Like this one might be bolstered by episode for the next episode. You know, it's one of those, we don't know how good part 1 is until we've seen part 2 almost. This one felt good up to a point. Ignoring all the technical issues, it just fizzled out at the end. And there's not much of a cliffhanger to leave us on, honestly. I don't feel like there's a lot of stakes on the line. You've got a few crew members over there, that's fine, whatever. Are we going to start a war? Have we already started a war with the Gorn crossing the line and firing on us? But Pike's indecision bothers me because I really like Pike, and he's not really suited for this kind of engagement or scenario, which makes me wonder why he's a Starfleet captain, which is sad. Like I said, he's much more suited, his captaining style is much more suited to TNG era, where it's a more stable Federation, and there's a lot more diplomacy. There's a lot of different captaining styles than... He's definitely not a wartime captain. Making decisions isn't quite his thing, apparently.
Well, and also, I think Patel also isn't a war captain, but she's great in other stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, Mbenga didn't have... A lot of the characters didn't have a whole lot to do in this one, but we got to see an adult Gorn, which is awesome, in a spacesuit. That fight was awesome.
And not a giant letdown.
Not yet.
Watch our episode on it. We are shockingly positive considering our season 1 coverage. But if they earn it, they earn it, right? Like, we're fair. And we give our reasons why. So go watch it.
Absolutely. So overall, score-wise, for enjoyability, I'll give it a 7.8 out of 10. For all of New Trek...
Ooh, that's a score.
For all of New Trek, let's see... 7.6. For Strange New Worlds, though, it's going to probably get 7.5. For season finale...
This is going to be such an interesting Drunk Yards What the Hell We Said score-wise.
I know.
So interesting what we actually think our favourites are, because there are so many close scores this season.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not looking, but there's a lot of very, very close scores. Wow.
For a season finale, though, score-wise, let's just go cliffhanger, maybe, instead of season finale.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. That's a good score.
I'm trying to remember all the cliffhangers now, or the two-parters. I'll go with a straight 7 on that one. Because there are some that are infinitely better and a lot more that are just kind of like, you know, so there you go. Those are the scores for me. How about you? Did this change at all just talking about it?
Super chats first, because we want to encourage
Ah.
A little bit more.
Well, Danny Janey, who is always amazing, throws in $100 super chat, which
You know how good that is. You know.
I know.
I mean, Danny.
Hopefully
Danny
they
knows
know.
how. She knows what it is.
Can't eat too Scottish is a hilarious Gorn theory. Thanks for that. Hashtag Red 100. Yes.
Yes. I
It
mean,
really made us smile, so we appreciate that.
yeah.
And Ray Ricks throws in £5. Enjoyed this. 8 out of 10. Season 7.9. Lost 0.1 point for K-pop Klingons.
And vote in the poll, because the results are really interesting. So, 93
very
people,
close.
we want to see at least on 30 votes, or at least 70 votes. Like vote, because so neck and neck. Decide, guys. Decide for us the consensus. We rarely have a 30% split. That's actually kind of amazing. My thoughts. Okay. I had so much fun working out all the silly things with you, Stuart.
Mm-hmm.
And for significantly longer than the episode.
Yeah. It was a fun discussion. You guys contributed to it, which we appreciate.
Like, I don't know if it was more fun than the episode, but this was a really nice epilogue to the episode. Like, I said to you at the time, the scenes are so bitty that there's stuff. Not that I realize how much stuff, right? Compared to other scenes where it's just a conversation and a thing, and conversation. This is really, really bitty. So that's now colouring my enjoyment. It's just our discussion, because it was fun. Episode-wise, it's not a good season finale, really. It would have been an amazing part one of a two-parter.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Because then you're like, we're gonna ramp up the power, and then more Gorn'a. That could have been, wow. That would have been a great episode 9, actually. Yeah. That would have been, because it would feel like a movie. It'd be a Gorn movie. Set up, and then you save your money episode 1, you go big episode 2, you end on an even bigger cliffhanger, like a Gorn fleet attacking some other planet. Whatever, you know, didn't happen, but could have. The fact that the adult Gorn was decent gets a big point from me, because that is worrying. And I do think the tail's going to be a weapon. It's too logical. So good. And the prosthetic's great, etc. Really big ensemble piece that I liked, although most people didn't get much to do, but everyone got something. So that's the problem with it, like a 9 to 12 person cast, right?
Even Sam Kirk.
Yeah, entirely irrelevant, right? But character building, because he was in the last one. There we go. But yeah, those little problems. And some very big, like, that doesn't make sense plot conceits. It's not as if even that much happens. If you break it down, right, there's not that many steps. Just they talk through the steps. So it takes a long time. I don't Patel die. That's the thing I still feel. Scotty was pretty good. They've done all the legacies pretty well so far. I mean, don't give him my parents are dead backstory as well. For God's sake. Let him just be a chipper, fun guy that likes green. The alcohol, the green.
Yeah.
Maybe the green woman too, but most of the green alcohol. And I hope he's in season 3 as a regular. That'd be great. Not that they necessarily have the cast space to spare, because they already don't give number 1 Ortega's almost anything to do, and you can't bring Scotty on to not do stuff with him, etc. But apart from that, the Zero-G fight was good, and once you know what they put into it, it's even better. Because it feels so like, oh, they did a Zero-G fight with the Gorn in CG. It's like, no. They did it for realsies. It's like, oh, that's cooler then, right? It was simple, but it was cool. The chapel subplot, weird. The time skipping, weird. The distance doesn't matter. The time, all that stuff was hugely immersion breaking. Hugely. The fact they just don't seem to care about internal logic of the universe is a problem. It tends to be, but they just made a point of it last week. That said, in one graphic, the ship that was destroyed, the other Connie, it gives a length and a width and a height, and it's back to TOS-ish scaling. Can you read it on the screen? No. Was it there? Yes. Will we talk about it? You're double dumbass on you if you think we won't. Score-wise, though, man, the first third is a bit of a slog. The middle third is a bit of a slog. The final third, apart from the last 2 minutes, is really good. with some good things in between, right?
Yeah.
Scotty helped save it. The Gorn fight helped save it. And those two saucer shots helped save it. Score-wise... well, enjoyment-wise, 7.2. But that feels generous. But it feels like it can't go any lower because it feels harsh. Like it was pretty decent. No, I'm going to go 7. Flat 7 for me. All new Trek. And a lot of better new Trek. Most of Prodigy. Most of Lower Decks. All of Picard Season 3. A lot of better stuff. A lot of better episodes this season are better. So this is definitely a under par Strange Worlds episode. In general, right? So all new Trek. I guess 7 again. I mean 6 seems harsh. But 7, yeah. Season 1, Season 2... I might go 6.8. But the show can do better. You know? I know the budget was probably a problem here. And cliffhanger, oh, 5. Like, average. Average is not good. So I'm a bit lower than you, but I just can't, it just doesn't do enough really good stuff. And again, Season 1 finale was like 9 point something. It was really good. Just like...
Yeah.
Didn't even reach that.
I got to call it a great comment. Steve Farr says, would have been a better cliffhanger if it had gone full Tarantino and Pike had got sucked out into exploding view screen while giving his last order as the Gorn beam him away to their ship. Yes. He's about to give an order. Thing shatters. He gets sucked out. The force field goes up. You see him float. You see the green, and then to be continued. Would have been epically cool. He also goes on to say, cliffhanger means you'll have to wait till season 3 for my score.
You know, it's funny because that would have actually been really, really fun because you know he can't die. He knows he can't die. But to kill him, so you stop before the beam. So you see him floating in space surrounded by fighters. He's got less than a minute to live. That's a cliffhanger. You know he lives, but what the hell happens next? That would have been really cool. Although destroying the view screen bridge window would have been a thing to do. I mean, they already trashed the bridge for the other scene. They could have done it. That would have been a very cool cliffhanger. Wow.
We already saw that happen once in one of these episodes. I think it's in Uhura's vision. We saw that. And it sucked out through the view screen.
They've already done the previs, right? No, the scene, do it again. That would have been really cool because he knows he can't die. So imagine what the character's thinking. Like, I don't die here. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Are there any super chat scores? Stuart.
Blown out, yes. Not sucked out. Blown out. Exactly. No other super chat scores yet? No.
Just see like 5 5s and we're there. Super chat your scores. Non-super chat scores. Let's see what the rest of you guys think. Let's find the first one. 6.5 from Kirk. 7.2. 6 for Jill. And Jill's quite positive normally, so that's quite low for her. Ryan Kate. 6.9. Bradley 9. So top tier. Trilobite 8. Verpine 7. Chris 9. Joseph 8. Donna 8. Colin Barrett 9. Steve 5 because the rest of the season will judge. JA 1. So not worth making. Is there any 1 out of 10 Star Trek? I don't think there is.
No, not even Discovery episodes deserve that.
Like, I'm sure I gave the one TNG clip show like a 4, like a 3 or a 4.
Yeah.
Like, I can't go, like,
There's still something to glean out of every one of them.
Yeah, and that was only like a 20-minute episode if you take out the clips.
Yeah, exactly.
1? I mean, what is 1? 1 is like they went to your house and punched you in the face. It's really dramatic. That's a really low score. Matthew Fetus 8. Stanley 7. Aussie 8.8. Hypno can't score until the second half. Fair enough. Legend 7. Eric 8. Silent 5. Carl 6.5. 8.8 from Lesser. 7.5 for Raj. 8.5 for Chuck. 8 for Devro. Aussie 7.0 for All New Trek. Darth Eddie 7. He liked it more than the Gorn'a episode from last season. I liked it more than the Gorn'a episode from last season too, because that annoyed the hell out of me in many ways.
Yeah. Why does every Gorn'a episode need 2 Constitution class ships, though? Oh, sorry. That was a somber class.
Get your facts straight, Stuart. You're Trekyards after all. Just because it looks like Connie and smells like a Connie, is a Connie. It's not a Connie.
It's a somber class. E.R. Mixon's craziest theories, though, says these are the voyages would be a 1. Absolutely not. These are the voyages was a fantastic episode. It would have been great for a mid-season episode, not a series finale. We're not talking season finale. A series finale. It was shit. It still doesn't deserve a 1, though. Absolutely not.
Well, and these are the voyages. If it had been a mid-season 2-parter with the double budget to do even more TNG stuff, and like that would have been really amazing. Like the corridors, like there's some elements that's like they ran out of money. That could have been an amazing 2-parter. Like, wow.
The racist Code of Honor might be a 1. No, Code of Honor even has some good
There's
stuff in it.
some good acting. Tasha's pretty good in it. Some of the art design's fun. No, that's, I mean, I think we give it like a 3 or 4 as well. Like, low, but no.
Yeah.
There's still good lines in that. There's still some good acting. And, I mean, you know, it's good to, I mean, the problem with these are the voyages, the Riker scenes are good. Like, him dealing with the pegs and stuff is a good dialogue, is good scenes. He's
it's added content to TNG.
Yeah.
That episode of TNG.
Like he's oddly big, and his hair's oddly thin. His beard's oddly light, like a few hairs. But yeah, it's, you know, and Brent's got a free cameo that doesn't get credit for. You know, good for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think there's any 1 Star Trek. So.
Yeah, like 1 is unwatchable. Like 1 is I couldn't even fathom a 1. Honestly. Is anything even a 1 in terms of media? Because when you get things like The Room, which in theory should be low, it goes so low it becomes good. For a different scale. So like so bad it becomes so good. So even the 1s can become, but then even The Room, like some of the shots are really rather good, and you know there's some actually decent editing. Like that's just, you know, pulls it above a 1, etc. Guys, what's a 1 to you? Do you have a media episode that's a 1? I can't think of anything.
Jill says my lowest score.
Oh, sorry we lost you, Stuart. Sorry we lost you.
Jill says my lowest score is still Descent Part 2 0.0.
Okay, that is really bad. Yeah, I enjoy that definitely worse than those other ones.
And Species 1571 says, where was Brent's cameo?
Oh, he calls Deanna, or Deanna calls him. So he's off in audio because he obviously filmed earlier for the other sequence. So they just I mean, because you could think it's stock footage, but it's not because they talk about the situation. So it's all custom. And he sounds very. I mean, Brent being old, it sounds like Data is really good. Good for them for just throwing it in without any sort of fanfare.
Well, I guess that's it. That's all she wrote. The end of season 2 of Strange New Worlds.
I mean, we're so close with like 20 something things. Ah, so close. But yeah, almost half of season 3. It won't be next year. But,
well, Mark Lawrence throws in $5. Says the only score of 1 I can think of is Melvar's script on Futurama.
I think I'll get the reference.
I'm trying to remember exactly what the script was, but you're just getting them to read it.
Joseph says,
like a fan film.
Yeah, but fan films, like, you can't judge in the same way because the budget is not $2 million an episode. So you gotta say that as a whole different level of whatever. And actually, as Hypno about the Gorn threat, the fact they mentioned the Gorn didn't show them. You know what I think happened? I think they knew they were getting a 2-season order because we knew they knew, and and they said, right, we're gonna basically build the sets. That's the budget for the 2 seasons to get them looking good. Start, and then we can do bottle shows, which they did. Season 2 will be half the budget, but almost no set builds. Great. And they agreed to that before they started filming, so that's the budget. They stretched it, is what it is. Season 3, fresh budget. So they teased the Gorn, because to do all the Gorn properly, you need a good budget. So they did 2 seasons to build up the fan base and the reaction, then Season 3's fresh budget. They've now said, now we can do the Gorn arc. We've now got a budget. They didn't slash our budget by half. We got the same budget as an in-between, now we can do Gorn. So I think 3 will be a Gorn season. Because that makes sense structurally now, because we assumed it'd be a Gorn season. That's expensive though, but I can see the logic there. So that's a good choice by them.
Well, anyway, guys, I'm gonna call it quits there. I have somebody coming over. He'll be here in a few minutes, so timing's kind of perfect. I was hoping to be done by 6.
3 hours.
Yeah, it was great.
Craziness.
It was a good discussion. So thank you everybody for joining us.
Yes.
If you want to super chat in, still you can. I mean, I'm not going to stop you, but.
No, he will stop you right now. No, how many likes do we have? 115. Nice.
Yeah.
And yeah, watch out for the drunk Trekyards retrospective, which will be a long one for us to prep, because we'll rewatch everything, which is going to be a long, which is like the hour episode. But but that'll still be fun. There's a lot of interesting stuff. We'll see how it evolves, the story. Now we can look back at episode 1 and know what Mbenga's doing with his Klingons. We'll see the hints.
Yeah.
So yeah, jump into that. Help us get.
I'll let you know when it's happening. Don't worry.
Drunk, because we will. And we'll see what our true comparative scores of the season are. Because I do not know, apart from of course, Lower Deck's going to win, because of course.
Yeah.
But everything apart from that, I don't know what's going to win. Cool. And tune in for our full Gorn review tomorrow. I had a lot of fun doing with you, so have a look. It's pretty interesting. Oh, and the poll.
We're not going anywhere. We're going to be here.
And the poll barely has a winner now. So, which season do you enjoy more? By 1% win. Season 2 wins. With 36%. 35% both equally. And season 1, 29%. A very close poll.
Yeah, I'm kind of a both equally or season 1. Kind of edges out season 2 a little bit for me. So
super close. Super close. Cool. Now you can say goodbye.
All right, guys. Yes. So until next time, he's Commander Cockings.
He's Captain Foley. I'm going to put hearts on the poll. Hearts. Bye, guys.
I'll meet you. I'm going to put hundreds. 100%. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.